Texas Barons Podcast. Let's go.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Okay. So what's up, everybody? Today I have an amazing person. He's extremely special to us here in Wichita Falls because he's not originally from Texas, and now he calls our town his home. I call him X.I.M. His government name, I don't know if it's even important. Just call him X.I.M. But anyways, this is Anthony. We're going to hear his story about being a professional artist, and then we're just going to learn about how he got started and where he's at now and everything in between. And he brought me an amazing piece. I hope you can see that. I can post a good picture on Instagram and everything else later, and that's going in my office now. So thank you for that, X.I.M.
Absolutely.
And man, I really want to hear your story and just tell the world about you, you know. So I'm glad you're a part of our town now. And anyways, when did you really fall in love with the art? When did you know that you were you love to draw or paint, or how did it start?
Before we get into that, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
if I can explain this.
Yeah,
this
for
picture
sure,
I
man,
gave
for
you real
sure.
quick. So this picture
Can
here
you see yourself in frame?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this picture here is I saw this picture through Instagram. So
Okay.
it's not an actual picture that I created myself. Okay. I didn't create this image.
Okay.
So I want to make sure I give props to the person who actually created this image.
For sure.
But I decided to paint it and make it into a painting.
Okay,
Because
beautiful.
it spoke so much
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
So just as a FYI, I did not create the
Okay.
image. I just created the painting.
Gotcha.
And it speaks a lot.
For
It
sure, man.
speaks a lot. To me, it speaks just obviously what it says, self-explanatory, power to the people, you know? And that to me is just everybody. I'm not sure what the meaning behind was, you know, the person who created it. I'm not sure what their meaning behind it is. I do know a little story in regards to the T-shirt. The T-shirt, I believe, was created by a third grader.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, and then, you know, they made an image out of it.
Yeah,
so.
man. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Do you remember who you found the original picture from?
Yeah, I think it's the Instagram is BY More, I believe.
Okay,
Or
okay.
BYB More, something
Okay,
like that.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
I've reached out to the guy, nothing yet, but
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Maybe one day he'll see it, and then
Yeah.
if you can ever see it on this or on that, please reach out, and that'd be awesome to hear from you and get in contact with X.I.M. for sure.
yeah,
But
please.
yeah, man. So tell me, where did it all start? You know, where did you figure out that I just love doing what you do now?
As far as I know, when I was 9 years old.
Cool.
So I actually, between 9 or 8, something like that.
Cool.
So I started drawing at those ages, and I remember seeing my mother drawing as well, because she
Cool.
would draw like at events and stuff.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, she would like even paint like on T-shirts, you know, that stuff.
Yeah.
I just been doing it since, but I never took advantage of my creativity until 6 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
So I might have been drawing from like, you know, 8 through 12, 13, something
Gotcha.
like that. I don't know.
What did you used to draw? Did you do like anime stuff or like just stuff around you?
I would create my own characters.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
So I would create my own characters, you know, just imagine certain
Okay,
characters, or
yeah.
I would even even words, I would try to copy other people's handwriting, and I actually ended up, you know, doing a chick's handwriting perfectly the way she did it. So
cool.
that's one thing I
That could be
do.
a side hustle for us later on.
Yeah,
We're just kidding.
So I do that. But yeah, that's how it started.
Okay, cool. And so did you get a lot of encouragement from your mom or your dad or anybody else when you were at a young age? So like, did they give you any tricks or tips, or did they just be like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. This is awesome.
Man, thanks for asking that question, because I'm actually self-taught. I wasn't
Okay.
necessarily, like I said, I would see my mom, but my mother wouldn't necessarily teach me.
I gotcha.
Right? Or she wouldn't say, "Oh, this is how you do it."
Right.
Not that she didn't want to.
Right.
Right? She just probably didn't know that I enjoyed doing art that much, or just some parents don't see that.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? At least I've learned that just off reading books, because I have children now. So
Right.
I've put myself into reading books so that I can fully try to understand, you know, how to raise a child, because we don't have once we have children, we don't know exactly how, in a sense, how to raise them, right? We're not,
right.
There's no instructions to that.
Yeah, and I think you may have even touched on that when we listened to you at 9th Street Studios. I think you mentioned something about that. And then, I didn't even really go into this. I learned of X.I.M. and then kind of even got this idea from 9th Street Studios. He had a, what do they call it, like an artist showcasing or...
The art talk?
Yeah, but do they have like a word for that? The 3 months or so you get to keep your art up there, like just the
I guess what you said, art showcase.
Yeah, and then so anyways, he got to do basically like a little residency there at and keep his art at 9th Street, and we went. Me and my wife went to listen to him, and then I was just thinking, man, we could do this a little bit better. But anyways, I got to learn who he was, and then luckily I've seen you like at so many different public events, whether it be art walks or we saw each other at the Women's Forum the other day when Beto came to town. So anyways, that was just I had to say where I knew him from. But anyways, and then where the idea came from. But yeah, man. So. We were talking about you being young and making characters and then knowing now that you're a dad and applying the same thing. So like what books are you reading? Because I'm kind of interested in hearing what you've been reading.
I've been reading many books, but as far as like when it comes to trying to understand your child, what's this one book called? I think it's Optimistic Child or something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've that's one children's book, or not a children's book, but a book in regards to I guess how to help your child in certain ways.
Cool, man. Cool.
So that's one of them. But a lot of books that I read are self-help books or financial books.
Okay, cool. My wife tries beating one into my head all the time. We were actually talking about it last night, and it's now it's a series, but this woman first came out with the book called You Are a Badass, and then she stemmed from that. There's You're a Badass at something other ones, but then the big one my wife stays on is You're a Badass at Making Money, and she goes in. And this woman talks about just basically things that you've either picked up by yourself or maybe your household culture or whatever has taught you to like either be irresponsible with your finances or like just not on top of your worth basically. And then she teaches you like you are worth every penny that you want to earn, and you're worth having that new car or saving up and buying that newer or nicer house, whatever. And so I haven't finished that whole book, but man, my wife beats that one into my head all the time. And she's like, no, that's a money block. I learned that from that book. So yeah, it's hard to get in time to read, but anyways, are your kids picking up on your art? Like, do they like to paint? I think I've seen you post a little bit on Instagram with the girls and you and all them painting and everybody.
Yeah, my youngest daughter, she's not little anymore. I mean, she's 13, but
man,
my youngest daughter, she got that for me definitely.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So I tell her because I can see that she enjoys doing it.
Yeah.
Although I'm not gonna tell her, oh, this is what you have to do. I'm gonna let her make her choices. So I've asked her, what do you enjoy doing? And she enjoys animals as well.
Cool.
So she actually wants to be a veterinarian. I was like, all right, so you want to be a veterinarian? Then go out and start studying these things. You don't have to wait till you're 14 or 15. I've been telling her this at a very young age. And I'm going to be honest, she doesn't actually hate when people say I'm going to be honest because I'm always honest. So scratch that. I've actually told her like I said, at a young age, you want to start doing this now.
That's right.
You don't have to wait. And and the reason why I said I'm going to be honest is she hasn't even done the things that I've asked her to do as far as if you want to be a veterinarian, to start reading these books. And I would take her to libraries,
Cool.
this and that, but she's not really on it. I hope that she eventually starts doing it soon because I want her to understand the importance of it. If that's what she wants to do, put your focus on that.
Cool.
But same thing with art.
Yeah, man.
I tell her, if you want to get better at it, you got to practice every day, because practice doesn't make perfect. It only makes improvement.
Gotcha.
So you're only going to improve every single day that you keep doing.
Yeah, for sure.
No matter what. Like even during adversity or whatever, or you're like annoyed at a certain picture or whatever, you know, whatever it may be, you know, pick yourself up and do it, because it's going to be times like that. It's not going to be perfect every single day.
Right. That's so true. And then each project can be so different, you know, depending on the person or the thing, the object that you're painting. So, and then do you paint in the same exact place every single time? Like, do you have your own studio or anything like a studio?
Yeah, we actually bought our house about 7 months ago.
Cool, man.
So we have like this sunroom where I paint. So that's like my studio. It's pretty legit.
Man.
It's like an office and you know, studio.
Yeah, so you got a lot of natural light in there.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
Cool,
For
man.
sure.
Cool. That's awesome. You can just kind of feel I mean, it's a little too warm right now, but you can feel that warmth of that sun and everything. So yeah, that. So at least you can control that part of your environment. And then your objects and your people always change. But yeah, man. So you're a young kid, and you're liking to draw different things and characters. I like to always know this, when's the first time you ever made money, whether it be a drawing, painting, anything art related? When's the first time you got your real commission, you know?
Actually, so I started painting in 2016 at the age of 30. That's when something just hit me, and I'm like, I just have to start doing this.
Okay, cool.
And I told my story, maybe not the full story, but because there's things that I missed that I wanted to talk about, but I just couldn't think of it, all of it at that moment.
We can pry all of it out. So if you got it, let's hear it, man.
So to answer your question, my first commission was the year after I started painting. So in 2017. Okay, cool. By a real good friend of mine. I want to say that was the first commission. Yeah, real good friend of mine. He's actually an actor. He acts for, or he's acting for, or he's in American. Damn, what's that show called?
American Horror Story?
No, the football one.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sylvester. I don't even know. That's his name, Sylvester Powell.
Okay. I don't know, what is it, like a Netflix thing or?
It's American something. Anyways, it's not American Me. That's a movie. Anyways,
I don't know.
I forgot, but he's actually the first person that ever commissioned me to do a painting.
Man, cool.
Yeah, I really appreciate. I appreciate when he did that. Like, it was amazing, because I mean, me thinking, I know I'm doing art because I love it. Yeah, and I'm also trying to do it, full time. Yeah. So when he did that, I'm like, all right. So all I ever had to do was just pick up this brush and just start doing it. You know what I mean? I can't be sitting idle, and that's definitely for anybody. Nobody should be sitting idle. So when I started doing that, I was like, okay, I can make a living out of this. I just gotta keep doing it. It may not be 3 years from now, 4 years from now. It may take longer, and that's okay as long as I keep doing it. Yeah, for sure. Because I definitely don't want to work for a company where I don't want to do a 9 to 5, because that's not, what if it's something I don't love? Yeah, exactly. So I'm not trying to do that.
Exactly, man. And I can apply something that my new friend DJ Maniac told me last week on this podcast, and I saved it. I actually clipped this part of the video and saved it as its own file. But he said one of his favorite quotes was, find something that you love to do and that you could do for free every single day, and then go find somebody that'll pay you to do it. And I was like, boom, cool, man. That's kind of what I did with this. That's what you did with your love for art. It was it's almost common sense, but you don't hear it every day, or you don't hear that type of encouragement often. But you applied it to yourself without even, maybe you never even heard that quote, and you applied it to what you love to do. And just like you said, you didn't want to go work at a 9 to 5 that would basically put handcuffs on you, and you couldn't, maybe you don't get paid for lunch or whatever. So it's just, your creativity or whatever can get so bogged down in these, corporate jobs. And I found that I worked at a factory for about 5 years or so, and made really good money and even better friends. So it was overall a positive experience. But I've noticed this change of life in me since I've quit. And I've been out, I guess, about 3 years or so now. And I have new hobbies. I have new, just things that I'm into are different and more creative. And, I'm putting content out on the internet and just having more fun.
Stuff that you love doing.
Yeah,
stuff that
man.
you enjoy.
Yeah. And then that big corporate job, it paid me well. But my mental health was going down and just everything. It wasn't as fun because when you work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., there's not a whole lot of free time in the middle. So
your health is way more important.
Yeah, man.
Way more important.
For sure. So anything good artistically happened between age 9 to about 30? Did you keep your love for it, or did it kind of just die down?
Well, I know for sure I kept my love for it because that's how this brand came about.
Cool.
So the brand came about in 2012.
Okay.
And I was working for, what was I working for?
No, you're good. Yeah,
Okay.
Just get a little bit closer. If you hear it kind of die out, just
I was
a little bit
turned up.
closer. No, you're good. You're good.
So I was working for Chase.
Okay.
And I actually just sitting there, I was created the logo. I was
Cool.
thinking of a clothing brand. I've always had this mentality where I want to think big and I want to do bigger things
Cool.
because, again, what we're talking about, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're not necessarily going to focus on
Yeah.
it. I mean, I focused on it still because I needed to get paid. I didn't want to get fired or whatever.
Right. But
but-
just kind of doing that bare minimum.
Yeah, but I was always doing my best at any company that I worked for.
gotcha.
I'll tell you that I would always do my best, but I'd catch myself grabbing a piece of paper and just start drawing because
yeah.
it's still in
Yeah.
my head
Yeah.
and I enjoy doing that.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, so that's how X.I.M came about.
Cool. I hope y'all can
And-
see our shirts. He brought me
Yeah.
this awesome shirt. You can see, and then his is even cooler. It's got money. The band's that big. Money comes in.
Yeah.
So love that. That's awesome.
thank
Thank you
you.
for this shirt, man.
Of course.
Yeah. Do you want to tell everyone what the X.I.M means to you? I know you have several different stories and meanings for it, and I thought it was pretty cool whenever I first got to hear from you. So kind of elaborate on what X.I.M means to you.
Yeah, so it's 5 meanings behind it.
Cool.
And the first meaning, which is the one that I thought of, was time is money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So not to say that money's everything, but we need money,
Yeah.
of course.
Gotta have it.
You know what I mean? So, and gets much deeper into that, but that means time is money. It also means yin yang.
Okay.
I'm sure everyone knows what that entails. The 1,000 years in heaven.
Okay.
So I'll get into that as
Okay.
how I came
Okay.
about that. Same thing with time is money.
Okay.
Or maybe the time is money is self-explanatory. Time is money.
Right. Yeah. That one I got. I want to hear the heaven one for
So
sure.
1,000 years in heaven, then 24/7.
Okay.
That's the fourth one, and then the last one is X.I.M. So I am that X or in the hidden treasure.
Okay,
So
okay.
so you know what I mean? Like on a treasure map, when you see it, you see the X.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll start explaining that one.
Okay.
So again, X marks the spot, hidden treasure. You are the hidden treasure.
Cool.
So you don't have to look any further because
Yeah.
it's already in you.
Okay. Cool.
Right,
man.
all that, everything you need, everything you want is already in you. The universe already provides that to you.
Cool.
You just want to make sure that the resources are out there. So you have to go and take action.
Okay. I
You
gotcha.
have to take action. It's
Gotcha.
out there already. It's out there already. You just have to take action. So that's how that works. The 24/7. So X is the 24th letter in the alphabet.
Okay.
I is the 9th letter in the alphabet.
Okay.
And M is the 13th letter in the alphabet.
Okay.
So we're gonna do this in our head without paper.
Okay.
So 24, 9, and 13. You can turn the I around, right? And it's still an I. So once you turn the 9 around, it's a 6.
Okay.
So 6 minus 13 equals 7.
Okay.
So that's how I got the 24/7.
Okay. Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, I probably thought about this way too much.
Did any type of let me say medicine from the ground have to do with any of these thoughts? Any bushy, leafy products help you with this creativity?
Probably.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Cool. Good. Because I'm completely well aware, and I hope everyone else knows that when you do partake in adult activities like that, you kind of open a new kind of like a lens, so to say. You can interpret things different, and then I've even heard comedians can have access to better ways to portray their joke. You know, they can just think of better kind of punchlines with it, and why not? So all you did is just use your resources around you. Yeah,
the X.I.M idea was actually prior to me even doing that.
Okay.
But as far as like all the other ideas behind it, I just started thinking more about it.
Okay.
Because like I said, at first it was just time is money.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was 24/7. But then after that, I believe that's when the other ideas started coming, like Yin Yang, 1,000 Years in Heaven, and the X.I.M, X marks the spot, whatever. So the 1,000 Years in Heaven, I already explained the other ones. Yin Yang, self-explanatory. Actually...
Well, how do you get to
you're right.
yin and yang?
Yeah, sorry. So that's what the eye. So the 6 and the 9.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. From what you explained just a second ago.
Yeah.
And then you can reverse that. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I got that.
I got you. Man.
The 1,000 Years in Heaven. So 10. M is 1,000.
Okay. That. Numerals. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
X is 10, of course, and then. The I is 1.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see it, is you want to be number 1. Mm-hmm. So you want to be number 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 10 is how people tell you rate from 1 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
10 is the best.
Okay,
right?
Gotcha.
So my idea with that was, or how I thought it through was, you want to be the best at everything that you do, and you're your own. How do I say it? Competition. Well, not competition. It depends, but don't look at what others are doing,
right?
And do what you want to do.
Gotcha.
And I guess judge yourself off that, or critique yourself off that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Don't try to be better than anybody else. Don't even focus on what other people are doing.
Yeah, man.
So that's how I got that. And then if you keep doing that every single day, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, that you love, keep doing that every single day. And in my mentality, how I see it is, that's your 1,000 years in heaven.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
And I may have also thought of that because of reading the Bible as well.
Okay.
I'm only like 75% in. I haven't read the entire thing yet, but the stories that I've read are just stories of people going through adversity and then, coming out of it.
Right.
So. At the end of the day, don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up whatever it is that you want to do in life, however you want to interpret God, heaven, all that.
Yeah.
No one should judge anybody as to how they interpret it. As long as it's not hurting anybody, as long as you're not, killing anybody, whatever it may be.
Or infringing on anybody else's right. You own the right to interpret that. I agree.
Right.
100%.
So they're your own thoughts, right? You should be able to think for yourself as long as, and at the same time, as long as you're taking care of yourself as well, and you're bettering yourself in every aspect of your life.
Right.
So that's how I see that.
I got you, man. I got you. And then did we, was that all 5? Did we just?
Yeah. So, well.
And then time is money. Yeah. And then so I'm assuming that would be our multiplication then is money.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha, man. I like it. And then I hate to say it, but whenever I listen to you at 9th Street, I could feel your nerves up there. And then luckily, was it your brother or brother-in-law that was sitting in the front?
He's actually a really good friend of mine, one of my best friends.
Okay, you can tell.
Angel, yeah.
Okay, you could tell because he was your hype man and keeping you on track and everything. And then, but I'm glad that you got to explain that to us now because we're so calm and chilled out right now, and you got to fully explain what you did that same night. So, but you don't have 50 eyes just bearing on you right now. You have a couple thousand, but right now it's just me and you. So anyways, man, that's all cool, man. And I got the same sense of, do you remember when you were a kid and you always saw Adidas brand everywhere, Adidas, everyone wore shoes or t-shirts, whatever. And then the day you learned that, the saying, all day I dream of soccer or or whatever the saying is.
Man, can I say what I thought?
Yeah. What?
All day I dream about sex. That's what that's the first one I heard.
There you go. It probably was. And then, but yeah, I got the same sense of not a hidden message, but something deeper than just 3 letters. You know, and or with Adidas, just 3 little lines, whatever there is. Yeah. So I like that, and I like when brands have a little of depth to them. You know,
I want to be bigger than Nike.
Yeah. There you go, man. There you go. And golly, we that'd be quite the what's a word? Challenge, because I've learned of that guy, one of the original creators of him, and from the jump, he was almost a millionaire from the get-go, man. So, but he did it. There's no reason at all why you can't do it.
Yeah, I read his book. What's his name? Something Knight.
Yeah, it's been a while. I learned about him from a documentary called Wild Wild Country, and he's from Oregon. And then he was in a dispute with a large cult up in Oregon that was buying a lot of property, and they had big money, this cult did. Well, so did the Nike guy. And so it was 2 kind of big corporations going. It wasn't corporations, but a corporation and a weird large cult going against each other. So I learned a lot about that Nike guy, and they gave the back history of him. But anyways, yeah, he did it. So why can't you?
Yeah, I read his book. I believe it was called Shoe Dog.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to check that out. And is it just is it an autobiography, or is it biography, or what?
No, I believe it just talks about how Nike started.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was about.
I got you. Yeah, and it's so funny to go back, and this is I like having a podcast for this reason. We can just kind of go off on a different story, but
I know
what I
I
was
going
going
to get off track.
No, it's completely fine. When they were talking about him, they were talking about track shoes and how pathetic they were back in the day, and he basically, I think he got a waffle iron and melted his rubber or something like that to get that deep imprint on his soles. And then that was just like the beginning of prototypes for Nike at that point. And they realized how bad athletic shoes were at that point. And then he like easily conquered the whole market because he brought something different than what was the top dog at the time, Converse or something. I think that was
I read something like that on the book.
Yeah. And anyways, so he's got an interesting story, but yeah, man, I want to see you do something like that here in town or here in Texas. So
I want it to be international.
Yeah,
with X.I.M, because I believe it's for it. Well, it's for everybody, which is the reason why I created it, because it entails everyone and everything.
I gotcha.
You know, sports, art, fitness,
entertainment. So, you have
entertainment,
Willie Nelson for. Everyone will be able to see this after the show's over, and then when I post it next week. But X.I.M brought me these amazing pieces we're going to put on the website, and one is Willie Nelson, awesome portrait. He's got a little cowboy hat on, and then how do you say Luka's last name?
Doncic.
Yeah, so him from the Mavs. I don't want to mess up his last name, but awesome. We're going to hang him here in the gallery. I'm going to have him on the website, and then you can buy his art and support X.I.M. So anyways,
thank you.
Just cool stuff. And yeah, you're very diverse, and whether it be, you know, a normal guy like this dude, or, you know, the top of the food chain entertainers and stuff. So yeah, man, I love to see it. So we did get off on a tangent, but tell me, did you said back in right when you were 30, you had just something came upon you to be like, I got to get back in it?
Yeah. So the way that started is I briefly mentioned it at the art talk in April. The way it all started with all of this pretty much is I obviously already had the talent and the skill to draw. Mm-hmm. And at the age of 30, I started painting, and I had at that time I was losing. I wouldn't say losing. I moved out of the place I was living at that was rented to me by some real good friends of mine. Mm-hmm. They ended up moving to Virginia, and then I ended up living in their house for from 2011 through 2016, so
Okay.
5 years.
Okay.
And me and my kids loved that place. They had their own room. I had my room.
Cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And then, like I said, I had that same year I lost my job.
Mm-hmm.
I also had, like I said, I had to move out. So that was that. I ended up moving with my sister. Thankfully she gave me a room to sleep in and all that. But I didn't really feel comfortable because, like I had mentioned, I didn't, at the show, I like a certain environment, right? Nothing against anybody, how they like to live, that's okay. But I believe that we all each enjoy, living a certain way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Environment, whether it's around us or whether it's just in our own home, right? Like, you don't want to walk into a home where you're currently, where you hear people cursing all the time or being loud or always arguing or being
especially if you got your kiddos around you too. That's even way like no, not around mine.
So that's one of the main reasons why I felt like, okay, I have to do something with my life. Like, I mean, I ended up getting a job eventually. Thankfully, I actually went to school to try to do art.
Okay.
So I was literally taking the basic class. Just one basic class.
Was it like a community college type of thing?
Oh, no, it was 2 classes. Okay. It was Mission College in Somar, California.
Okay, cool.
So, but I was only there for like, let's see, I think I enrolled in November, October, I don't know.
Okay.
I was only there for like 5-6 months, and I had to like leave because I ended up getting a job.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, okay, what should I do? Go to school or get this job? I needed the money.
Right.
And me just going to school wasn't going to pay me. Although I could have still gone to school after work.
Yeah.
But then that would mean that I wouldn't see my kids.
Exactly.
So there was a lot going on. I'd rather just see my kids. And I'll just start painting just here.
Yeah.
I don't need to learn. I mean, I need to learn how to paint.
Yeah.
So, but I just started looking at other artists. There's another artist by the name of Robert Peterson.
Okay.
He lives in Oklahoma.
Okay, cool.
I believe in Lawton.
Okay.
Yeah. This guy's amazing. I've learned a lot just by watching him.
Okay.
From his colors and what else.
And you watching him on YouTube and stuff?
I've on Instagram.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I actually started following him on Instagram that same year, 2016. Cool. Yeah, so I just started watching him and how he uses like his colors. So I decided to incorporate that into my paintings. I'm not going to copy the same exact paintings either. Right.
Just get a little inspo. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've always gave him credit for it.
Cool.
He's actually given me a few tips.
Nice, man.
So I've
messaged you kind of made acquaintances and networking with him.
Yeah.
Cool.
So cool dude. I haven't met him in person yet, but I hope to make it happen sometime in the future because I actually made a painting for him.
Okay.
To give to him.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah. So, anyways, so I've learned from that. And I just started painting, and ever since then, I enjoy painting every day. I don't ever want to stop.
Cool, man. Cool.
So that's how all that started. Oh, and I should mention, because I think it's important, during that year, 2016, when I lost my job and I found out I had to move out, I actually started drinking heavily as well.
Okay.
So I noticed that.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I wasn't sure as to why. Maybe it's because I just wasn't doing anything. I was bored and I was just at home. I didn't have a job.
Yeah.
So I was doing that like heavily.
Okay.
And I didn't maybe almost every day. And I didn't. At the end of that year, 2016, that's when I had like my awakening. I'm like, man, wait a minute.
Okay.
Like now I'm at my sister's. Like, what am I doing? This whole drinking thing's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So and it was just that year. And I'm glad I was able to catch it at that very moment because it's, I probably would have been in a different space or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still drink alcohol now from time to time, you know, but I don't do it the way I did it back then. I just do it if I'm hanging out with some friends or whatever it could be.
And so did you seek any like professional help or did you go back to any leafy products, or what helped you realize your funk and get out of your funk? Because this is important. I like to talk about being aware of your mental health and how important it is to stay on top of that. So, like, explain how you just got up and out of it.
My thing was my kids.
Okay,
my kids, and just what am I gonna do in my life for myself to support my kids, and not just my kids, but my family as well.
Yeah.
And it was just a click, and I
Cool.
quit doing it.
Cool.
I quit doing it for like a year and a half. I wasn't doing anything at all.
There you go.
And during that entire time, I was just reading books.
Okay,
so
good,
I didn't
man.
get any help from anybody.
Okay.
You know, I didn't ask any family members. Not that I can't ask, and not that
Right.
I can't trust them or anything.
Right.
It's just I'm that type of person where I'm very independent as
I
far
gotcha.
as when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm,
But when it comes to success and maybe other things, even just talking to somebody about, you know, mental health or whatever, you can speak to others and
Yeah.
become interdependent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm actually glad I noticed it myself.
Yeah, man.
And I just stopped.
Good.
And I just started reading books.
Yeah, I mean, and perfect reasoning. I mean, just to look at your kiddos and be like, no, I need to be here, you know, and you'd think it'd be like common sense, but you get to feel in certain ways, or you get down on your luck, or you go through some stressful shit, and then you realize, oh crap, you know, I'm kind of using this inappropriately or whatever. But good for you, man. I'm so proud of you. I love to hear a good come up story, and whatever it is, get out of your groove and get out of your funk, and just know there's better life to live than just you know, kind of drinking it away. So and there's not a damn thing wrong with going and enjoying a couple drinks here and there, or chilling at the house, but just don't let it consume
Don't abuse
you.
it.
Yeah.
Like the Bible says, don't overindulge.
Yeah, man.
You know, so I truly believe in that.
I got
to
you.
not overindulge in any. That's food. That's anything. Sugar, candy,
And
ice
it's
cream, whatever.
so easy nowadays with just everything at a click of a button. You know, you can get it in 2 days, and we just figured out you can order a bunch of stuff from United Market Street, the grocery store, straight to your house off DoorDash. Like, you don't even have to go to the store for groceries if you don't want to, you know, and so you can just get whatever you want to. But yeah. What Marcus, DJ Maniac, was talking about last week, it's all about balance. You know, you can go have a couple drinks, get back to your business the next morning, you know, and whatever it is. So good, man. Again, I'm proud of you, and I'm glad you got that
Thank you.
under control. And then so from there, you got a new place, you got out of your sister's house. Clearly, what did that look like?
Well, I got out of her house in 2021.
Okay.
So I was there from 2016 through 2000, pretty much the end of 2020. So beginning of 2021, because that's when we came here to Wichita Falls.
Okay.
January 3rd of 2021. Sorry, I said did I say 2001? I meant 2021.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got you.
Yeah.
But okay, so cool. Huge question. I've been curious this whole time.
What brought us on?
Yeah, what got you here, man?
My kids.
Okay.
Everything I do is for my kids, man.
Shout out, kiddos. I hope you'll see this one
Yeah,
day.
everything I do is for my kids, and it's I can't think of anything else. I mean, my kids, my family, my girlfriend. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's everything I do is for my kids.
I gotcha.
That's gonna be the same answer every time. People, I don't know how many times people have asked me, "Oh, what brought you out here?"
Yeah.
My kids.
Yeah, awesome. And I mean, was there other parent here already?
Oh yeah. So the reason why I'm here for my kids is because their mother got a job opportunity.
Okay.
Out here, apparently as to why we're here. She got a job opportunity out here, and that's why I'm here. I wasn't going to be 1,300 miles away from my kids.
Right. Don't blame you, not one bit, man.
There was like, other agreements, just me staying out there and then coming out there, but that's not going to work.
Yeah, man.
If I'm going to be a father, I have to be there at all times.
I love it.
I can drop them off.
It.
Everything. Be there for sports, because they actually play basketball, both of them right now.
Yeah, awesome.
So, and I know they took that from me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would watch basketball with them all
Nice,
the time.
nice.
We'd be just watching the championship game
Heck
when the
yeah.
Lakers were playing.
Heck yeah.
Almost every game all the time. And I'm sure, you are what you see or what, or your environment.
Yeah, you look up to those people.
So I wanted to make sure that I also made sure my environment around my kids was great. Which is going back to, not wanting to be in a house where.
Yes.
Not saying that my family yells or curses all the time like that, but again, there's just a specific environment.
Right.
But yeah,
I got you, man. I just love to hear it. And nothing against our dads from the previous generation, but they did operate a little bit different than our generation is now. And,
probably, yeah.
And you can just see the and I was very, very, very loved growing up, but you can just see like a little bit more. just interaction with guys our age, with their kiddos, and no matter what it is. And
I do see that a lot more.
I just love to see good dads. I can't wrap my mind around a deadbeat parent of any gender, because I'm like, how, dude? Your kids are so freaking cool. Not just yours, mine and everybody else's kids are so cool. How could you not, man? And you're a perfect example of just do whatever it takes to be a good dad, and you are, man. So shout out to you for that too. I'm gonna hold this story true because I'm proud to be a good dad, and clearly you are too. So
much respect.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then clearly I've just seen your girlfriend with you in passing, but she was also at the art show at 9th Street Studios, and you can tell she loves those kids as well. So that's awesome, man. And you found a good partner. And so she was from California as well. And did your girlfriend move with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love her so much for that, because
that's a leap of faith,
I know.
man.
Yeah, I know it was a tough situation for her because of her family, but her family actually ended up coming here now. Her sister already lived in Texas.
Okay.
And her dad, he ended up coming here, so he lives out here now as well.
Man.
Unfortunately, he's 3 hours away.
Okay.
But
it's better than 1,300 miles.
Yeah. But he might come closer.
Okay.
And then her mother's also. So
cool, man. Cool. I love to hear it. And y'all, I can't remember if it was you or your girlfriend had mentioned that y'all were kind of impressed or blown away with the hospitality and the interest in art in Wichita Falls. And I think it was your girlfriend, because she had said something about, we come from California, so this is saying a lot that y'all's town's interest in art is so overwhelming. I was like, that's good. I didn't know how, because I wasn't involved yet. I hadn't been paying attention to all the badass people we have around here. And so
there's a bunch.
I was just curious, like, what y'all had seen or experienced, or like the welcoming that y'all have got to make y'all feel like that once you got to Wichita Falls.
So when we got here, it was, for me, I just felt like, okay, I'm just going to have to learn how to adapt to this new change.
And saying y'all all the time. And
I might even just end up start talking like a Texan.
There you go. Get you a cowboy hat and some boots. Heck yeah.
But yeah, when we first came here, I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was the environment, how nice people were, and the fact that people were actually like nice, saying hi, smiling. That's the type of environment I enjoy being in.
Yeah,
because I've always been that type, like, just after reading so much, I've learned also how to just speak to people as well, and make eye contact, say hello, even to a stranger. Yeah. Or ask somebody, how are you, or are you okay, whatever it may be, But the fact that it was like that out here, like almost every day, I was like, wow, this place is amazing.
Yeah.
And then we met Danny Martinez.
Okay.
And that's kind of how it all started, as far as us realizing that this place is a huge art community.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And then I'm not familiar with Danny. Who is that? And what does he do? Or what is y'all's relationship is what I'm trying to say.
So we met him at the brewery, Wichita Brewery.
Okay, cool.
And he invited us to sit with him. Okay. So the fact that he did that itself, what we were just talking about. Yeah. He invited us to sit with them. Yeah. And then he invited us to Maplewood.
Okay. Yeah.
And he owns Maplewood.
Oh. Okay.
He also
good guy to know.
I think he owns like a couple other businesses. Okay. But
cool.
Really cool guy. Okay. Him and Raymond. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Real cool people. Cool.
And then so that just kind of sprung from a random interaction to a friendship. Then. Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. That's good to know. And then so how did you get involved? Here's a good question. How did you get involved with 9th Street, and how did Amber? I'm assuming Amber got a hold of you to showcase your art. How did that relationship come apart?
So that came apart from the Maplewood, which we were just talking about. That place ended up having like art sale.
Okay, cool.
So I believe that's the day I met her. Yeah, so I met her that day, and then she noticed my art. I believe she asked one of the people in there, whose art is this?
Cool.
And then, I was there. And we spoke, and she said, email me, let's talk one day.
Perfect.
And then I saw her at the art battle, and she reminded me again.
Okay.
So then that's when I got in contact, and we ended up, doing the art show.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And you could say it without saying it, but networking. We always come back to this topic, no matter who's in that chair, because it's just so important. Whether you realize you're doing it or not, you know, Danny just randomly saw you and was like, I'll just say hi to these people, and then boom, so many connections came from it.
A lot.
Technically, your connection with him has got you to this point right here talking with me, because I learned, you know, of you from Amber. So amazing, man. And I just hope everyone knows to just be willing to break out of their shell just a little bit, to shake hands with somebody or say hi to somebody. And it's that easy to just boom, next thing you know, you've made a bunch of friends from downtown. And but also another thing, y'all are very active, and I see y'all at art walks. I see you at whether it be for a governor or a man running for governor at a town hall, you know, see you at all these things. So y'all clearly get out of the house a lot. So
yeah, I'm really trying to be part of the community.
Yeah, man,
and
good.
help in any way that I can.
Good.
I also want to show my art as well, because it's kind of going back to just doing what you love. If you love it, obviously for yourself first, and then if it brings value to other people. So I believe that the art that I have, or just any artist at that, art brings value to people because it makes people smile, or they can relate to it in a certain way, or whatever it may be, you know. So I'm just trying to spread a message through my art, and just who I am as a person as well through my brand.
I got you. I love that, man. And I'm all about the positivity and just getting away from just such a negative aspect of life. And I've been there, just like, this place sucks, or this job sucks, whatever. And then you get around some like-minded people that are looking for other happy people to be around, and man, perspectives can really change, you know, and your outlook can really change when someone's nice to you. I'll call my wife sometimes and be like, dude, I just had the best conversation with a stranger at the gym, like, and he was so nice to me, blah blah blah, and you know, whatever it be. And it's just so important. I see that it's not a meme, it's a very serious post on Facebook. Often it's shared often, but it was like, you were screaming about the dishes whenever I was ready to, you know, kill myself or whatever. And that's a quote that people share all the time. And it's like, yeah, you know.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's heavy, but
It's sad.
it makes you think, like, some things just, like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze on some things to be upset about, you know. And you don't know what that person walking past you's going through. So why not just smile? You know, I try to do exactly what you said in those books that you were talking about. I just try smiling, or, hey, how's it going? And then a new thing I've kind of, especially if I see someone twice, I'm like, hey, so what do you do for a living? Because I'm also always looking for guests to come on the show. So it's easy, and like you said, with people in the town, are easy to talk to, and they like to say hi back. And have you noticed a lot of people wave at you while you're driving here in Texas?
Yeah.
is that
they honk as well. I'm like, did we know those people, or are they just honking because my girlfriend's here? Or is it because they think it's two hot chicks when I have my hair down?
There you go. Yeah, same problem all the time, you know. But it's funny to hear other people's perspective of this place that aren't originally from here. So or if someone leaves and comes back years later. But yeah, man. So I'm still interested in your journey as an artist. And so I think we were talking about, I guess, 2021. What are some good things that happened as soon as you got to Texas? I know you met Danny, that one, of course, but like any new doors besides Ninth Street, any new doors open for you? And
yeah, I just feel like I've seen opportunities, and if I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing, I'll still do the best that I can to try to get that opportunity. So trying to do murals. Yeah. So I've reached out to a few people to do murals. People that by the way, that I was referred to by Bob Barrel, if you know who that is. Mm-hmm. So he's part of the whole Arts Alliance, I believe.
Cool.
He's another great gentleman that I met
Okay.
at the art walk.
Okay.
He actually invited us to the art battle last year, Wichita art battle
Okay.
that they had.
Cool.
And he told me to sign up, and I did it.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think I was. Oh, it's because I was so busy trying to start doing this art show.
Okay.
Because I had to come up with like 17 paintings.
Mm-hmm.
But out of those 17 paintings, I believe three or four were ones I already had done.
Okay.
But I've never done that many paintings in a
Okay.
matter of like 4 months or something like that.
Right.
But anyways, that went over my head. I forgot to sign up. So I met him. And then just through him, I've been able to have a great amount of opportunities, as well as, you know, having meetings with people and talking about how to help other artists.
Cool, man. Cool.
So,
I love that.
Yeah, so we did that. What else? The mural thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've had, obviously, people come to me and say, oh, you know, they'll reach out to me and they want a painting.
Mm-hmm.
They want me to make them a painting, you know, so things like that.
I got you.
This
man.
right here.
Yeah, man.
This right here. This podcast, thank you.
And you know, like I said, it stemmed from hearing your story and thinking, man, I can tweak that idea just a little bit different. And so we work together right now. You know, we've been pinging off each other and we didn't even know it. So, but yeah, it's so cool to hear this. And gosh, you just said something, and I didn't want to interrupt you right when you said it. Not the art battle. Oh, yeah. You had to do 17 paintings to get ready for your 9th Street?
Art show, yeah.
Okay. I gotcha. And there was a painting there that I've been wanting to ask you about. It was a guy sitting down, he's super long hair, playing a guitar. Is that Waka Flocka?
That's the friend that I mentioned who commissioned me the first piece of Mr. Powell.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I walked up those stairs to go to my wife's office, I saw that, and I'm a huge Waka Flocka fan. Always have been. It's a nerdy thing.
Good to know.
And then, but that guy in the painting has nice long dreadlocks, and
Unfortunately, he cut it off.
Oh man, I hate that.
Yeah.
But
and I remember the show, by the way. I don't mean to cut you off, but I remember the name of the show. It's called All American.
Okay. And what is it? Just a football thing?
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it entails football.
Okay. Let me Google that real quick.
The show?
Yeah, I want to know more about it. All American. Yeah. Okay. Spencer James is rising high school football player, a student, South Crenshaw. Is it a fictional show?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what was
I think
his
it is.
name? There's a cast. What was your friend's name?
Sylvester Powell.
I want to see if we can get him on here. That'd be so cool because I'm looking at the
cool.
cast right now.
Down to earth. He's down to earth.
Man, I'm not seeing him. But anyways, that's awesome. I love the painting.
Well, that show's been going on for a while.
Okay.
He's in the new season.
Okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha. But anyways, yeah, I saw that painting and I was like, dude, if that's Waka Flocka, I need to buy that fucking painting, you know, and just have it for myself. But anyways, I just always thought that one was cool. And then my other favorite one, it was in the gallery, in you know, the walk-in gallery part, not the long part, but the gallery that's in line with the offices there. And then in there, it was in the right-hand corner, and I don't think it was this one, but it was like your only piece that wasn't for sale. And it said, from so-and-so's personal collection. Was it this?
Yeah, it was this.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's Danny actually.
Okay.
Maplewood.
I gotcha, because I seen that and I was like, holy crap, I want that for my studio. And then as soon as I went to look for a price, it was like, nah, not for sale. Someone else already owns it. So cool, man. But then now I have my own copy of it. So perfect. It all worked out, man. So
cool.
What do you, to get kind of on the entrepreneurship side of things, what do you do or take in consideration to set your prices? Because I know that there's, I'm hoping that there's a young X.I.M out there listening, thinking, I want to paint for a living, or I want to draw for a living, but I don't know how I'm going to support myself. What did you do in order to be like, okay, I can make a living if I can charge X amount? Like, just kind of walk me through that business side of your.
Yeah, so I actually started selling my paintings for cheap, and I mean, many people have said that. Why are you selling them for so low? So I just started looking into, how should I price my paintings, and I've heard per square inch.
Okay.
I've heard per hour.
Okay.
I like charging based off if I feel like it's going to take me a long time. So, well, depending on that. Right. So if it's going to take me a long time, then yeah, it's going to be more. If it's not going to take that long, and if it's probably a same size canvas, so let's say a 24 by 24, it's something not too complex to paint, whatever. Okay. Right? If it's not going to take too much time, then I'll sell it to you for a little bit, less than what I would sell if it would take me longer.
I gotcha.
So I kind of, like I said, I've heard charge by square inch. I like to charge on how long it's going to take.
Okay, I gotcha.
I just feel like that's fair, just because it's all about the time, right? But again, many artists say charge per square inch.
Gotcha.
So it just depends. A lot of my pieces are actually square inch, at least all these other ones that I've already made. So, but if there's any commissions that people want me to do, then I'll go based off whatever it is that you
Gotcha.
What exactly do you want, and then I'm going to be, okay, this is how long it's going to take me, I'll charge you this.
Right. Yeah, and I experienced something similar to that. So I don't know if you knew this, but before I started this podcast, I did own a heavy equipment company. And then so I ran a backhoe and a dump truck, whatever. And then there would be times where someone would call me and be like, hey, I have blah, blah, blah to do. And then come out and check it out. And say the job could have been super, super simple, whether it be just digging a hole and filling it back in. But the surroundings maybe were dangerous, whether it be like high voltage wires in the ground or a water line in the ground or something, Yeah. So many different aspects would go into my thought process of like, okay, it is probably going to take my minimum amount of time to do this. And I always charge the minimum, Yeah. I wouldn't just charge you for the 10 minutes. I would always tack on 3 hours. That was bare minimum. But if it got to be, whether it be dangerous or overcomplicated to do, then yeah, I'd have to start pricing in a little bit more because one time, perfect example, I thought my whole company was over one day because someone had just hired me to rip out, it was a gravel driveway, and they wanted all the gravel gone because the concrete guy was going to put a brand new concrete driveway on. And then, so I'm digging, cleaning up, and then I'm almost done. I get pretty close to their ditch and go to clean out some more, and this wire pops up. And I was like, well, that's not good. Wires shouldn't be torn in two, period, no matter what kind of wire it is, whether it's, a microphone wire or a fiber optic wire. What I'd always heard was fiber optic, if you ever hit one of those, you're screwed. Like, you can get up to $1 million lawsuits and stuff just for repairs. Yeah, so horrible. Wow. And then so I get to looking, and of course, I didn't call 811. In Texas, you call 811, and then they have each company has someone that'll go and mark lines. If you see the little flags and spray paint and lines, that's why they're marking water lines, fiber optic, whatever. Yeah. Of course I didn't do that. And then the guy I was working for didn't do that, of course. And then so I was like, this is it. I'm pretty positive this is a fiber optic line right here, and my whole career is down the drain. I'm going to have to sell my house, pay off this lawsuit I'm about to get, blah, blah, blah. And then the guys, the Spectrum or whoever comes out and checks it out and was like, oh, this is just a little internet line that goes over there. But luckily, they didn't even charge me for it. It was such a simple fix. They didn't charge me. But
oh, that's good.
Just certain things like that, if I had been more aware, I wouldn't have charged them the minimum, because something like that could have took my whole company down, a huge lawsuit like that. So you have to put in. With my last job, it was like a risk assessment, but with your career, it would be detail oriented, or like, a smiley face isn't going to cost the same as if I painted each one of your detailed tattoos, So and just figuring out, looking at the job and knowing what you and especially the amount of time that you have doing it now, you get to figure it out. Oh, I can do X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
in an hour or two or 2 days or whatever. So
Yeah.
if anyone's out there listening, you learn as you go. And then another reoccurring thing that I keep hearing is I just had to dive into it. Kind of like you, people telling you you're not charging enough. Well, you put yourself out there, and then maybe consider it a loss or a learning experience. But yeah, you got out there, just put a price out there, and it was like, okay, I can charge more for this, or maybe I shouldn't have charged them that much for that. And so you just got to get your boots on the ground and learn as you go.
Yeah, I don't ever necessarily feel bad for how much I charge because, I mean, like I said, I've been drawing since I was 8, 9.
Right.
Although I didn't take advantage of my skill till like 6 years ago, but even between that, I would probably draw here and there. It was just never consistent as much as it is now.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I feel bad at times as far as like, if you can afford it, great. If you can't afford it, that's okay. I understand.
Yeah.
You know, I have prints that I can also make as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't necessarily feel bad because all that time I took into practicing and doing this, you know, every day, you know, even staying up late sometimes or waking up early. I remember when I literally first started painting, I was extremely excited to wake up the next day and just start.
Yeah, man.
I would wake up and just start painting almost the entire day.
Yeah.
I still do now, but I would wake up much earlier before. Now, if anything, I just go to sleep much later.
Yeah.
So, but
I feel you. I can remember being in high school, and I never really took art serious or anything. Typical kid, would draw if I could, but never that good. But in high school, our art teacher taught us I think it's called the grid method.
Yeah, there's many ways. Yeah.
And so she gave us like 1,000 magazines and was like, find a picture. And then we're going to draw a grid on it. Taught us how, you know, A1, B1, C1, whatever. And I did my first one. I forget who my first one was, but loved it. I was like, holy crap, I can be a good artist using this method. And I was just, it was just pencils and, you know, you can get paper and smear your and then, you know, you make a shadow, whatever.
Yeah.
But so I did it the first time and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I went home a couple days later and I was like, I'm going to do it again. Not for a grade, not for nothing. And then so I found a picture of Lil Wayne, put a grid on there, and then drew it out perfectly. Well, then, sure enough, several weeks later, I kept it. I was really proud of that. And like you said, I stayed up super late. I was still in high school. I stayed up super late. I found a piece of plywood. I didn't want to do it in the kitchen, so I found a piece of plywood and brought it to my room and just turned all the lights on, and then I could, you know, do the grid.
You got inspired.
Yeah. And it was just fun being able to, you know, do something almost an inkling as good as this and being like, holy crap, you know, I did that with my hands. And then so weeks later, the same art teacher was like, hey guys, everyone liked doing the grid drawing so much, let's do another project on it. And then I was like, great, I'm already done. And so the very next day I came in with my rolled up art of Lil Wayne, and she said, where did you get that? And I said,
wow,
I did it.
Where did you get it?
Yeah. And I was like, I did it. And she was like, you didn't do it in this class? And I said, no, I had so much fun, you know, last semester or whatever. I did my own at my house. And she was like, well, you need to do another one because
I feel like she didn't believe you.
yeah, that, and you didn't do it in class, and this is classroom work, so you keep your art at home and then do another one. And man, I'll tell you, that kind of bummed me out because I put a lot of work into that Lil Wayne one. Lil Wayne's my favorite artist.
Still have it?
And my parents may still. It may be at
Man,
my
I wanna
parents.
see it.
I have a picture of it on my Facebook. If y'all go back far enough on my Facebook profile pictures, you can find it. But anyways, so I kind of got bummed out about that, and I found a picture of Tony Romo, and I did that one in class. And you
Is that a football player?
yeah, the old Cowboys quarterback. And then you can just tell I wasn't inspired by it and wasn't excited about it because the Lil Wayne drawing I did for fun had every single millimeter of detail in it that the original picture did. And then the one I had to redo in class, or actually do in class, I was like, this is stupid. I already have a completed project that I love doing, and then now I'm like bored and kind of pissed off at the teacher, and you can just tell the lack of enthusiasm with it. But yeah, man, it's just so funny what you can learn, and I feel like everybody has a little bit of creativity or artisticness about them. You just gotta find it, whatever.
I believe that.
Yeah, whatever it is, whether it be paintings or Selena, shout out Selena, talked about she went through all of her years at MSU, the college here in town, in the art program, and she really liked doing the clay sculptures, the 3D stuff. She was like, I just wasn't as good as it as the 2D stuff, the paintings and the drawings and stuff. And so she still liked it, but she found her knack in the 2D side of things, and I think everyone can apply themselves to something, and it doesn't have to be paint or the sculptures. It can be, there's a shopping cart on Indiana that's like 8 foot tall. Have you seen that by the farmer's market?
Yeah.
That's just like scrap metal put together to make art, So it's so. There's so many avenues that you can do with
body's art as well.
Yeah,
you can sculpt that.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm in the process of trying that as well, and man, I've lost 30 pounds in the past.
Congratulations.
Thank you. In the past 7 months, I think. I've been hard at it, man. Ever since our second son was born, I was like, okay, I got to do something. I was heavy. I was always out of breath and tired, and couldn't run around with them. And like you said, it's always about the kids. And I was like, I got to do something.
Yeah, I've never worked out as much as I did in the past since I've been out here.
I can tell.
I work out almost every day since we've been here, my girlfriend and I. And yeah, I mean, I used to work out in the past, but not as much as I do now.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
cool.
Now it's actually almost everything that I do is pretty much consistent.
Cool. And where do y'all work out at?
We actually work out at the apartments we used to live at, and I'm laughing because I tell my girlfriend that we're family now, like us in that building, because we already moved from that apartment, Stone Creek Ranch. I'm not sure if you heard of it. It's one of the nicest apartment complexes.
Is that on Taft? Is that
Taft and
okay, and it's kind of casita looking, with the red tile roof. Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about.
That place is amazing. So, anyways, before we left, I asked the ladies that work there, is it okay if we still use the gym and work out? Yeah. She was like, yeah.
Cool.
Like, all right, cool. So we just either walk over there, it takes about 15 minutes, or we ride our bike over there.
Okay, cool.
Or even if we're in a hurry, we'll drive the car, but that's very rare. If anything, most of the time we walk it. Okay, so cool. We walk, that's exercise, and then work out at the gym.
And exercise,
and we walk back. So that's where we work out.
I got you, man. Yeah, and it was pretty interesting. I think it's on a documentary called Iron Society or not Iron Society. That's a business here. Something Iron. And anyways, it's the legends of bodybuilding. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, and all them.
Iron Man?
No, not Iron Man. God, I'd Google it. It'd be a waste of time. Anyways, it's on Netflix. It's about the original bodybuilders, the original Mr. Olympias and stuff. Yeah. And then in that, Arnold Schwarzenegger's talking about just like a sculptor sees his 6 foot, 7 foot sculpture of a man and be like, okay, his arms look a little bit different. And he takes his hammer and chisels it just a little bit. He said, we do the same exact things, but we have to lift or push heavy objects, and then we step back and, okay, what is my chest proportionate to my arms or whatever, and he explained the artistic mindset behind them, and exactly like you said, your body is a sculpture, and he explained it perfectly, and what a perfect person to talk about that. Yeah. The man
Mr.
that
universe.
Yeah, exactly. The man that put it on the map. So that was always interesting to me as well. But I just see it so much differently now that I have this podcast, and I'm always actively looking for people to be on here. And I've just kind of broke through to a whole new genre of people, basically, that I didn't know before. And there's so many cool artists here in town, and I'm ready to, just like you, help them get on the map. That's a whole premise behind this show, is just like brand awareness, people awareness, and just know that I talked about this last episode, but people from Wichita Falls area have always been told that this place sucks. You know, there's nothing to do here. This place is boring. You got to leave, blah, 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 blah.
This place has a lot of potential.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
lot.
And I agree. I agree with you 100%. And people have always just kind of beaten that into other people's heads that this place sucks. But I'm trying to take it upon myself with all kinds of amazing men and women downtown to prove that that's not true, you know, and just like people like you, Selena, DJ Maniac, Britt, everybody that's been on my show.
Including yourself.
Yeah, thank you, man. I thank you. And I'm just here to prove that rumor's not true, you know, and someone else, shout out Zach, I know you'll probably listen to this. A friend of mine had said on Facebook the other day that Wichita Falls does not suck. It is a town full of potential, just like you said, ran by the wrong people. And I was like, I agree with you. We could really change things with exactly what we have right here and just move it around or invite new people in, whatever it be. But there's so much that could happen here to and it's already happening, whether it be the art walk or whether it be Knott Street, inviting cool people into town. And you know, it's happening, but you just get a lot of kickback, not a lot of kickback. You get a lot of negativity from the city, whether it be the city council or different branches of the government, smaller branches of the government here, just saying like, no, you can't do that. No, we don't allow that or whatever it be. So it's kind of figuring out how to work with what you got. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, with cool people like you moving in, and people like Marcus, DJ Maniac, that's been here this whole time, like, we're going to make it known that this place is a good place to be.
If I can recommend another guest on your show.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing man. His name is, he has a place called The Mob Shop.
Okay.
Or The Mob Sauce Shop.
Okay.
He sells clothing, like he makes his own clothes as well and stuff. And he also makes art as well, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so... And he's at a lot of the events that I'm at. He actually tells me about these events.
Okay.
Yeah, so props to him and shout out to you. His name is EJ. And his wife's name is BJ, DJ. I'm sorry.
Okay. But kind of similar names?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, he's told me so many times. I think it is DJ. DJ and EJ.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I would recommend.
Okay,
if you want another guest, he's a really cool guy. He's really trying to do a lot for the community as well. Actually,
I love that.
Yeah,
and just like him and making art, and then like DJ Maniac, and then even not even better, just as good. Have you heard of the Deep End here? It's a bar with an arcade in it.
Yeah, we actually haven't even been to it. We're planning to go to it
Good.
on when's the 30th? Saturday?
Here in a couple of days. Yeah.
Well, we're planning to go there for a comedy show.
Okay, good. Cool.
Yeah.
Good for them. I need to check that out as well. But the Deep End is doing a lot for local people as well. They just had a crazy show. I didn't get to go, but
Hip-hop?
Yeah, it was a hip hop rap show.
I was gonna go to that one.
Yeah, and I got to kind of live through it through Facebook because I went to high school with one of the guys that performed there, and his name's Eric. He goes by Eric Samples. Yeah, and he wants to come on the show too.
Can I say a story about that? So, because we Airbnb our place.
Okay.
He ended up reserving the day at our place.
Okay, cool.
So,
Heck yeah. That's awesome. And so you Airbnb the house that y'all own right now?
Yeah, we're still in it though.
Okay, so do you just rent a room out?
Yeah, just a room.
Okay.
I mean, we actually, yes, it's a room, but we actually decided to do it because of the Hotter in Hell that's coming up.
Good idea.
Yeah, so that weekend I'm actually going to the art battle. In Chicago.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. There is a badass dude I follow on Instagram. I'll have to show you his page. I'm pretty positive stays in Chicago as well. It's something Juju. Yeah, it is. Is it Mango Juju or MG?
Something Juju. But yeah, I met him when he was out here actually during my show.
Heck yeah, dude.
So,
awesome.
and I asked him to, for us to link up when
Cool.
when I land.
How funny is that, man? That some random person.
How the universe works.
Exactly. And thank God the algorithm on Instagram works for people sometimes, and just like I found him through that. It's funny. It's so funny, actually, that you knew who I was talking about, because I was one random evening, I just searched hashtag Texas art, and then on Instagram, and I'm just looking, see if anything catches my eye to find some cool people, and I did, luckily. And there's a dude that paints large murals on, well, majority of his business is large murals. And I'm going through, I'm like, dude, he's awesome. This is cool. My homegirl Selena needs to know about this dude. And he's from Dallas area. And then, so sure enough, I go to his, I back out, I can see his whole profile. And already, I hadn't even followed him. It said, followed by Selena Mize. And I was like, oh, Selena's already beat me to the punch. And sure enough, you knew about Juju before I did. So it is funny how the universe works, man.
Yeah, I met him the day of the art show when Bob Barrow, the guy, like I said, he runs, or he's part of the Art Alliance.
Cool.
Or our Arts Council.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how he brought like a group of artists because of the art battle that weekend.
Yeah.
I believe my show was on a Friday, April 1st, and then the art battle was April 2nd.
Okay, cool.
So it was that day, and he ended up bringing the day of my show after the art talk, and I met I met like all of them.
Cool, cool. And then so tell me about this art battle. I keep seeing it pop up, and I flagged it so I can keep up with it. And I know August 20th is the next one, but
out here, yeah.
Yeah, and so like, what goes on with? Oh, and get me back to your Airbnb. I want to talk about that more as well. But so like, what is an art battle? Where in Wichita do they hold it? Let's shout it out a little bit, and then just I'm kind of not confused, but just interested in what goes on at one.
Yeah. So last year was at the Forum. I actually think this year is also at the Forum.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
But yeah. So do you know what it entails?
No, I mean, I just seen the picture, and it's like three people like kind of set up against each other. I mean, it's clearly a competition, correct?
Yeah, it's a competition, 3 rounds. So it's, I believe, 13 people.
Okay.
12 people.
Okay.
The first round, they have the first 6 people.
Okay.
And then the audience, or even people watching, at home, are able to pick their favorite artist.
Okay.
One. So then whoever wins from that round goes on to I believe it's the championship round.
Okay.
Which is the 3rd round. And then the 2nd round, the other 6 people go, and then you pick,
Gotcha.
who, audience obviously picks.
Okay.
And then those 2 people go head to head.
Cool, man. Okay, cool. Interesting.
A guy actually that lives out here, Derek Holt, he's the one that won last year's.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So shout out to Derek, and I hope you see this, because earlier today, so, I was telling you, I was freaking out. My guest that was supposed to be here had to cancel on me, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm checking all my resources. And I had messaged you first, but I hadn't heard back from you. And then so
I was sleeping.
No problem. He got a hold of him, and here we are now. But so I text Selena, and I was like, hey, anybody local you can think of immediately that would probably be available for the day. And she said, I don't know, maybe try Derek. And then so I looked him up, and I was like, I know that name sounds familiar. And sure enough, we were already friends on Facebook, because I saw him several weeks back, and I remember his profile picture, and I was like, it looks like he's painting right now. So let me creep his profile a little bit. Yeah. It's like, sure enough, he's a local artist. I need to be at least interacting with him, whether it be liking his pictures or whatever. So I friended him. Luckily, he accepted it. And then, sure enough, I messaged Derek earlier today, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know I run a podcast. It's over this, and this, and I would love to have you on. I just want you to know that I'm interested in you coming. And he was like, cool. All right, sounds good. He said, I'm kind of busy right now, but and these dates I'll be gone, but after that I'm cool and free. And I was like, perfect. I got today figured out. But just know I want you here. And he said, yeah, send me some links. I'll check out your show. So shout out, Derek. I can't wait to hear your story, and glad that we linked up, man. But that's cool. And another one of those universe things, man. And so clearly he's good at his skill set if he's going to win these things. And so is Wichita Falls art battle, do they invite everybody? Anybody's eligible or?
Yeah.
Cool.
I believe, I
Cool,
believe
man.
so.
I didn't know if it was like just a Texas thing or a local thing. I know.
Oh, no, the art battle is actually, it's a national thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so I believe
it's not a Wichita Falls organization. They just host an event.
I think I read, at first I thought that Wichita Falls were the ones that created it.
Okay.
And they may have been, I'm not sure, but I think I read something else.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a national thing because
Okay.
last year's champion from Wichita Falls, because that's why they came out here.
Okay.
During that weekend of the art show, the art battle was the next day, and then some guy won champion. I forgot his name, so he is apparently going to end up going for nationals.
Okay.
And I believe that was in China or something.
Oh,
like that.
wow.
China or
Okay.
Japan.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
So just know, people, follow your dreams because you could end up anywhere in the world doing this,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be art, of course. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're a painter or you love art, you love drawing, you can this art battle doesn't necessarily only have to be painting.
Okay, cool.
It can be other mediums.
Okay.
Such as markers.
Yeah.
I believe even charcoal.
Okay, cool.
Or pastel, maybe even.
Okay.
It's almost any.
What
any
kind
medium.
of time frame do these people get to throw their? Because they have to throw something on a canvas, correct?
Yeah, so you can either have a reference photo,
Okay.
or you off the top of your head.
Okay.
So the ones that I submitted for Wichita Falls art battle, I just painted off the top of my head.
Cool.
See if anything, because I thought that's how it needed to be
Yeah,
done. I didn't know
yeah.
you can use a reference.
Right.
But I submitted like 8 of those, and I just been practicing just using reference as well.
Okay, cool, cool.
To be ready for
Yeah.
at least for Chicago, since
Okay.
I'm going for Chicago.
Yeah, and then do they give you like 30 minutes, an hour?
It's 20 minutes
Oh, shit.
each round,
Okay.
and I believe the third round may be 30 minutes.
Okay,
I
so
don't
yeah,
remember.
you got to hone in your skills then and be ready for it.
Yeah, only 20 minutes.
It's like
not a lot of time.
Yeah, for sure. It's like those people I see them on like America's Got Talent, or maybe you'll catch their Instagram and they'll be painting something and you're like, what is this? And they're going fast. They're just throwing paint on there. And then sure enough, they always end up flipping their canvas over and they've been painting upside down the whole time. And
I've
those
seen that.
people can do that stuff in like 30, 45 seconds, or at least under 2 minutes, because that's what America's Got Talent's going to give them. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even wrap my brain around doing something that talented in under 2 minutes. But
Yeah, I've seen many of those. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be at that level where I can do
Yeah,
something in a
man.
matter of like a minute.
yeah, for sure. And then some you can tell that they have their the sketch of it, kind of drawn out a little bit to just give them reference. But man, sometimes those people just have a blank slate. And but yeah, talent's talent, man. It's clearly easy to see it when you got it like that. But you had mentioned something just now about going off the top of your brain, because that's how you thought it. And I agree with that. And you get this sense of rawness to it. And so that's why on this podcast, like, me and you don't have scripts. I didn't write down any questions. Of course, I think of questions, just like you were honing in your skills on what you can do off the top of your brain. But yeah, you just get more of a general and
It's all organic. It's
yeah,
natural.
organic feel to it whenever we're just two dudes sitting here and like, yeah, we got our phones or whatever and we can Google anything, but
Yeah.
I'm not reading off a prompt or nothing. And it's just, yeah, it's more organic. It feels better to it. And it's wholesome that way. And I like that as well, because yeah, I could have a prompt or you could have this picture in front of you while you practice and or did the competitions, and it's like, well, you just kind of repeated yourself, so to say, So anyways, I like that natural feeling.
Yeah, it's more genuine and authentic.
Yeah, perfect
not
words.
fake.
That's what I was looking for. Is
Yeah,
genuine.
it's not fake or anything like that.
When just the other day, same another friend of mine I already brought up, but he hit me up and said, "Hey man, do you want to interview me about my my psychedelic trip?" And I said, "I do want to interview you about your psychedelic trip. We haven't done it yet." But he said, "Okay, do you want to tell, you want me to tell it to you first, or you want me to text it to you or anything?" And I was like, "No, I don't at all. I want this to be a completely raw, unedited video that we make, and we haven't done it yet. But I just know," I was like, "I'm gonna have a more genuine reaction to it and learning about it if you don't tell me anything."
Yeah.
And I just like that, you know, it is raw, and it's, it is what it is, exactly how it is. And then same with my editing. When I go back, the only things I cut out is if you or I was have to go to the bathroom, or if you have to take a phone call or something like that. That's the only thing that gets edited. I make our lighting look a little bit different, because you're wearing a hat, luckily, but these lights beam off this big old forehead of mine. It's just a solid white patch. So I got to play with the colors a little bit. I make her voice sound a little bit nicer. But besides that, I want the raw version, and it's just kind of closest thing to experiencing our conversations, in real time, and that's just, I like that feeling. So,
Yeah.
but
I'm enjoying this right now.
yeah, man, it's good. And what I liked about this idea was, and we mentioned it, was there's not 50 to 60 people just beaming eyes at you right now, waiting for you to say the next thing, and then you're not stranded on a stage by yourself, thinking of what am I going to say next? What am I going to say next? It's just, like I said, two dudes chilling, chit-chatting about whatever we want to, and hearing your story and experiences. So
I actually want to I'm trying to get away from that fear of public speaking.
Yeah.
So, and I enjoy doing the art talk at
Good,
9th Street Studios because it took me out of that comfort zone.
yeah, man, it made you do it.
Yeah, and now I feel more comfortable.
Cool.
So even if there were 50 people or 1,000 people, maybe a bit nervous, but I know I might end up getting out of it because I'm just going to speak from my mind and the truth and, whatever it is. And it's all going to be authentic and genuine.
For
so
sure, man.
Once you're speaking your truth or the truth, then everything should just flow out.
Yeah,
just,
I agree.
Naturally.
Yeah, and it does. And I tell people all the time, if you end up word vomiting on here, good. I want you to tell me as much as you want to about whatever you're passionate about, and don't feel like you're just rattling on and on. Know that you have the floor to do that, because I want to know, and people listening want to know too, So, but what were we just talking about before the authentic?
But the art battle.
Yeah, and the art battle. I could have swore I had another question for you along those lines, but I do know that I want to ask you about what's your experience with Airbnb so far?
Oh,
because I want to do one too, and you are, I think, my only friend now that I know that actually operates one.
Yeah, we actually just started doing it this month, in July.
Okay.
And like I said, the idea came about because of the Hotter Than Hell that's coming up on the 25th, I believe, of August.
August, yep. Mm-hmm.
26th, 26th, I think, Saturday or something. I don't know. But that's how it came about, and we've already had maybe about since three people reserved
Cool.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something different, and it did put me and my girlfriend in a position as far as who are we letting into our home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the first person was Eric Samples.
Yeah. There you go.
The guy that you went to high school with. That's so funny. So he came in, whatever, and he was honest about everything. So I respected that about him. He does hip hop, which is something that I enjoy doing. But at the end of the day, just the fact that this young man was honest about everything he had to tell me. I won't go into details. Not that there's anything bad.
But he wanted to just use your place as a set?
He actually did end up using our place as a set. And how'd you know that? How'd you just...
Well, I was just curious, that'd be the only... My wife has rented Airbnbs here in town to do pictures at. And so I knew that was a method, but just curious.
Yeah, that's actually, well, it wasn't just for that.
Okay.
But it's for him and his friends in Oklahoma who were
Okay.
coming by, and
Okay.
he didn't want them, like, in case they drank or whatever,
Yeah.
he didn't want them to go home. Obviously, I wouldn't want that either.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It'd be best. Here's a place. Obviously, it's
Cool.
on Airbnb. I said 4 people can be in this room.
Yeah.
Cool, 4 people. Like I said, we communicated. He did end up setting up his, like, music. He was practicing his lyrics.
Cool.
And I respect that because it let me know that this kid, maybe he's not even a kid, but I'm pretty sure he's younger than me.
Yeah, if I'm 26, he's got to be close to 20. He's got to be 25 at least.
Okay,
but, yeah.
so yeah, he you know, it let me know that he was really passionate in regards to his music. He even said a few lyrics for me in regards to the situation or whatever. And like I said, the fact that he was honest about everything and very communicative, like, that was cool.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
And I hope future people who want to come and reserve our place are the same way.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
that's all it really is. It's just communication. As long as you communicate, we're all on the same page.
Cool.
You know what I mean? There's nothing to hide. None of that. You don't have to lie to me.
Yeah.
You know, if you lie to me, then that's when the trust just
exactly.
it just goes down. Like, okay, but that's with anybody that I know, even a stranger. You know, it's easier even to let go of a stranger who lies to me. All right, I didn't know you before, so, you know. But the kids seem cool, so it's like I said, you don't know. My girlfriend and I are just thinking, like, we don't know who we're letting into our home.
Right,
Who's the next person?
right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not the type to judge people either. I don't do that at all. But we also want to make sure that our home is safe and that anyone we're inviting is not into any kind of trouble or anything like, you know what I mean? We kind of take that risk in a sense, because through Airbnb you don't really see. You can just see a picture, and you don't know what their personality's like or whatever.
And people are going to post their best pictures on their profile to, you know, look nice and presentable. So
yeah, probably. I mean, picture of me is my photo is me and my 2 kids.
Yeah.
And I think I had the Airbnb, or started it. That's funny, in 2016.
Nice.
Because we had to get some Airbnbs, like in Vegas or whatever, wherever we went. But yeah, it's been a good experience so far.
Cool.
You know, like I said, we've had 3. Sorry, he was the first one that came. We have one coming in August for the Hotter in Hell, because they're going to that event.
Yeah. Did you bump your prices up a little bit?
No, because
oh, come on.
Here's the thing. I'm not a greedy person.
Right.
And I did do my homework, and I did, okay, what are other people charging?
Okay.
I did do that.
Yeah.
But the estimate is between one certain amount and another amount. So I just did the higher amount of in the between.
Okay.
Which is more than what which is actually more than what I have ever paid for a hotel. And again, I don't want to be greedy, because I know just for that event, I probably could have done more.
Oh yeah, because people price hike, hotels price hike. I mean,
I looked at it; it's like $300 a night.
Yeah, for sure. And Hotter in Hell is like kind of not everybody's, but a lot of businesses Black Friday, so to say, because they know thousands and thousands of people are coming to Wichita Falls. So
Black Friday.
Black Friday, like the
no, when is it?
The day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, the day after. Okay.
Yeah. You know, everyone lines up at Walmart and fist fights each other, whatever, and then
no damn reason.
For no damn reason, when you can just wait like 2 days for Cyber Monday and just order it on Amazon. But anyways, people do that, and my parents have a funny story. I think it was one of their first dates. Yeah. And so they go to Red Lobster or something here in Wichita, and it was on the weekend of the Hotter in Hell, and they're like, hey, can we get this and this? And I'm like, well, we're out of that. Well, can we get this and this? We're out of that. And they're like, well, tell us what you have. Well, there are so many people in town that these restaurants were like getting their shelves cleaned out, basically, because they do so well with Hotter in Hell, and people do take advantage of that market. And then so that's why so many people with Airbnbs, or like the Reikis that own 9th Street Studio, like they start opening their doors to people and give them a good cheap option and stuff like that. So, but yeah, you could have been a dick and price hike, but you're cool.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's just that side of me where, because again, I knew I could have gotten more, but I'm also not the greedy type either.
Right.
And to me, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I'm still getting something out of it, and then the other person is able to still enjoy the hotter than hell and get a place,
and a whole
cheap.
house as well with a kitchen and everything, not a crappy hotel room or whatever.
They got a basketball court. There's a deck.
Cool.
There's a slack lining. I'm
Cool.
not sure if you heard of that.
Well, like balancing, right?
Yeah, Becky actually from Night Street Studios gave it to me.
Cool.
Or maybe she'll let me borrow it.
Okay.
But I'll give it back to you, Becky. If you did let me borrow it.
But cool. I've only seen it, or the quickest thing that comes to mind is, do you watch The Office?
No, I've heard so many good things about it. I've only seen literally only one episode.
Really interesting.
And it was hilarious.
Yeah, it is good.
I'm not really a TV guy.
I gotcha. But there's one episode where at one point in the Office series, they bring in these new younger guys, and then one of the original people comes off this retreat or camp or something and was like, guys, we slacklined. Let's go to the parking lot and I'm going to set something up. Well, the new younger guys are just great at it. And he's just, walking easy, does a little flip when he's done. And then Dwight, one of the main characters, super funny. He's like, well, I can't let him be better than me at it. He tries over and over and over and ends up like bloody nose and a black eye, whatever, because he's just beating the hell out of himself trying to do the slack line.
I bet that episode's hilarious.
And that's the only experience I have with it. I've never even tried it myself.
Yeah, I'm still trying to, man, I don't even know how to do it yet.
Yeah.
I could, at first, I would just get up and fall, and fall. Now I can take maybe 3-4 steps.
Okay, cool.
So I'm just making progress,
Do you use like a pole or anything? Oh, okay, yeah, that seems even harder.
Yeah, but we learned of this. I mean, I've never heard of slacklining, but at least I learned of it when my girlfriend and I went to San Antonio and Austin last month for her birthday. And we were just walking down, I forgot the name of the lake. It's a really nice lake. But some people were slacklining, and they invited us. Going back to how people are so nice.
There you go. Yeah.
We were just walking. Hey, you guys want to try? We're like, yeah. I thought we needed to pay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, how much is it? Oh, it's free.
Cool.
I was like, did you guys just? They're just regular people just doing that. So they had the slack line from one end of the bridge to the other end, and then if you fall, you just fall into the water.
Okay. Cool.
It was pretty high.
Okay.
Maybe about 50 feet.
50 feet.
Probably, or maybe less, but it's still. I might be exaggerating. Let's see, basketball court. Maybe 20 feet.
Okay, damn, but still.
15, 20 feet.
But was it a pretty good, it had to be a pretty good body of water under you.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. So not too much.
It wasn't like a puddle where
yeah, you get fucked up. Yeah, jeez. But the funniest quote that I stole from that episode on The Office when they're slacklining is there's like only 2 black guys on The Office, and then one of them I forget his actual name. Super famous dude. Anyways, he steps back from the camera and was like, seems like something white people with dreadlocks would do. And then, so we've always said that, like, if something seems real weird, right, seems like something white people with dreadlocks would do. But you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah, because the older man, that day we went to Austin to that lake when I first learned of slacklining, I feel like he had dreadlocks. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's why I think that's funny.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes sense. So it doesn't matter what it can be. It could be, I don't know.
It's a great core body exercise, man.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Or you need a great amount of strength to be able to do that. And
because I feel like your legs would start doing this out from under you, like wobbling real bad.
Well, it that's the thing. Like, it did for me. But once, like, this man, he was giving me techniques, like just put your foot on it as if you're just stepping onto something. So that's what I've been doing. And then the back foot as if you're about to get onto a skateboard.
Okay.
And then just kind of just do this and just walk straight. Keep your body, keep your chest up and keep your body straight. And you just kind of have your knees a little bit bent and not straight, because then you'll fall or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's still hard.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a matter of just continuing to practice. Going back to what we said, you'll improve the more you practice. You
won't be perfect, but you can improve. Let's take a quick break. And we're back. We were talking about slacklining, but man, I wanted to ask you. Crap, man, I lost my train of thought. But I know it's what time o'clock. It's 3 o'clock and I'm still drinking coffee. That's why I always have to take a break and go. But I want to do a quick shout out to Mythic Roasters here in Wichita Falls. They're one of my newest partners, and you can find them every single Saturday morning at Wichita Falls Farmers Market. That's the exclusive coffee here at Texas Barons Podcast. Love it. Patrick, the owner, he's from Wichita Falls, or he's from the Wichita Falls area. And he's got an amazing, amazing coffee roasting company. So go show him some love and make sure to tell him where you heard him from, Texas Barons Podcast. So shout out to Patrick, Mythic Roasters. Thank you so much. But anyways, to get back to it, man, I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you're here in Texas. And what is, besides people being nice and overall, like, welcoming to you, what's some of the weird things, like, from LA to, I mean, not LA, California in general to Texas that you've experienced, like just kind of some cultural things, you know, anything wild or too different?
Man, not really sure. I mean, California is.
What part of Cali were you from?
Los Angeles.
Okay. So I was on
Los Angeles.
Right.
I grew up in the Valley, so
Okay.
like Northridge. If you're familiar with that area, not at all. You're like only Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, I just know the general direction.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm from LA.
Okay.
But I grew up in the Valley, and that consists of like obviously other cities and stuff.
Okay.
Huge, you know. I mean, I knew people out there as well, but coming out here, I've known a great amount of people, maybe more people than I've ever known in California.
Okay.
And I think it just has a lot to do with the way the community is
Right.
and how people are kind and everyone talks to each other.
Right.
And it just seems like everyone's supportive of each other.
Right,
And
right.
everyone works together. So
Make sure you can see this badass shirt I'm wearing.
I think that's huge. But
Yeah.
and then as far as like anything weird, I mean, I don't really think anything's ever weird,
Right.
but the difference between here and there is, like I said, it's just people out here are definitely much more friendlier.
Cool, man. That's good to know. And I've always like questioned that people say Southern hospitality or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
whenever you're born into it, and that's the way you've been raised, like all my life, I have so many hours and miles in the truck with my dad, and every single time, hey, what's up? Hey, gotta wave. Every single one. And my mom would make fun of him for it, and then
My kids do too.
she would end up making fun of me whenever I started driving. She's like, "You're just like your dad. You have to wave at everyone." I was like, I just thought that's what you did. And but yeah, it's weird to leave this little bitty town and go anywhere and then be like, "Oh wait, why are people not being that kind? Like we're supposed to be being nice to each other and saying hi." Like
We can't be kind to them, even if they're not.
exactly, and that's what it ends up being, and just being like, okay, fine. Like earlier, man, it almost put me in a bad mood, and I didn't allow it to. But back here in good old Wichita Falls, I was going up to my office. I just hit the elevator, and I almost walked into a dude. He was leaving the elevator. I was getting on.
Down here?
And in this building. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me." And he didn't say a single word. He could have been like, "Okay, or sorry, yeah, excuse me, or excuse you, whatever." Could have said anything. And I was just like, why didn't he say anything?
Yeah, I don't ever try to assume. Like, I see what you're saying, because that's happened to me many times also. Like, even if I open a door for somebody,
Yeah.
they don't say anything, I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, in that thing, you would think, in that sense, you would think it's common sense. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, say thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't ever take anything personal or
Yeah.
assume. I'm just like, all right, maybe they're having a bad day for
Yeah.
whatever reason. At least you said sorry to him. You know what I mean? So at least you did that.
Yeah, yeah.
But the fact that he didn't say anything, don't even take it personal. You
Yeah.
just let him go about his way. You go about your way.
Exactly.
And that's
Just
it.
be happy. And I was like, I'm not gonna let it affect me. But you have to, and I've been taking this approach as well with a lot of things. Is just like, I'm not gonna let it get to me. I'm not, because it wants to. My skin will be on fire over so many different examples, and that just being one. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I've got to control my temper or whatever it is, and I'll get overzealous now if something good happens. if someone is nice to me or something random, a random act of kindness happens to me, I'm almost always calling my wife. You won't believe what just happened to me, or you won't believe who I just met and what they said, yada yada. So, I try to overcorrect on the positive side of it,
Yeah.
And
I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but
no, toot it. That's why we're here.
Here's what happens, when you didn't take it personal or whatever. You don't let it ruin your day. So something came back in return, and you got this one I got up here.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So
exactly.
Something good came out of, even though I didn't know anything about what happened.
Yeah.
But, I came here.
Yeah,
and
with
this
gifts.
happened.
Yeah, for sure. And then I was not getting mad or upset or anything, but a couple of weeks ago, I was telling my wife, I was like, man, when my idea of this show came on, I wanted to get merch. I wanted to, a hat or pencils and pens or whatever, so I could be representing y'all's brands and y'all's companies. And at a certain point, I was like, dang, Kel, no one's like giving me anything to represent them. And then luckily, back to back, you and DJ Maniac have been here and gave me merch. I'm proudly wearing it. He gave it to me last week, and it already hit the washer and dryer, and I was wearing it again yesterday just to represent my friend's brand. And then I like the shirt too. And then so I'm happy to do it, and I get excited about stuff like this.
I have new ones coming up, by the way. They're gonna read quotes that inspired me as to how pretty much all this came about.
Mm-hmm.
So an example is, how I told you I went to school in 2000, the end of 2016, and I had to leave, whatever. But one of my art classes, I'll never forget the instructor's name. His name is Brian Ruppel or Ruppel, something like that. Ruppel.
Okay.
And he's an artist himself.
Gotcha.
And he gave me a few techniques, or not techniques. He gave me a few what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? It's not techniques. Anyways,
like motivation or like inspiration.
He was definitely inspirational.
Okay.
And one thing that I will never forget, which is what I'm going to put on his shirt.
Okay.
Is he said, "I think you're gifted."
Oh, cool.
And when he said that, I was like, "What does that even mean?"
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never really heard of that.
Yeah.
Anyone ever tell me that?
Yeah, and you could interpret that in so many different ways.
Yeah, so when he said that, I was already like reading a bunch of books prior to that, but I guess I don't know why I never even saw that word in any of these books, because I feel like most of these books I've actually read after the fact have said the word gifted in there, or intelligence and that sort of stuff. But when he told me that, I was like, okay, well, does it mean because I'm an artist I'm gifted?
Yeah.
So I guess that's the thing. So once I started learning more about, okay, anybody can be gifted in anything.
Yeah, man.
Right? You just have to know what your passion is. You have to know what it is that you enjoy doing. It doesn't matter what it is. And that right there itself is your gift.
For sure, man.
He may have meant gifted in another way, as far as like, maybe being able to learn other things in life, or being able to memorize, because he did mention that as well. He said you don't also have to have good memory to be gifted, because you can have good memory and that doesn't mean you're gifted. It can be you have to have a specific skill, talent, or whatever, and be good at that. Just like any musicians, or like Michael Jordan. All these artists, singers, whatever. And anyways, so I'm gonna end up putting that on the T-shirt.
Cool,
which
man.
is gonna represent my brand.
And how inspirational is that, dude?
Yeah, super. So I'm like I said, I'm doing a lot of quotes that people have told me. So one of them is just be kind.
Yeah.
I'm having that. You're gifted. What's the other one? Practice makes improvement. I learned that from a motivational speaker, because I've always heard practice makes perfect.
Right,
and that's not true.
And that's told for so many people relay that, and I like your take on it better.
Yeah, practice makes improvement. I heard that first from motivational speaker Leslie Brown, I believe his name is. Okay. Yeah, great motivational speaker.
Cool. I'll check him out. Is it a guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, when I saw, I was like, oh, Leslie. And I looked him. Oh, Leslie Brown. It's a guy.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, real interesting.
It's a neutral name.
Yeah, I'm still
neutral gender name.
I got you. Yeah. I'm still chewing on what your professor said. I really do like that you are gifted, and it reminded me. Have you watched that movie with your kids, Encanto, on Disney?
No.
It's
They may have seen it. I haven't.
It's
seen
a general summary of it is Disney movie animated. Family, they technically they're like superpowers, but they call them their gifts. And one sister's super strong. One sister can make flowers. One aunt can change the weather. And they call it the gift. And they help the community and everything. But the grandma's super adamant about they have to be just top of the line, and the family can't mess up. There can't be any flaws. And I was told that it's kind of a traditional Mexican home. They're not Mexican actually, so that may be bad. I'm sorry for saying that. But anyways, but at the end of the movie, they live in a magical house too. That's part of their gift.
Is this animation?
Yes, and then so. At the end of the movie, or towards the end, the house comes crumbling down and their family's kind of falling apart. And then the grandma has a realization of the gift isn't your powers. My gift was you. Because at one point when the grandma and grandpa were old, their city came under attack. And then they fled their home, and then they went on the run, and the grandpa got killed. But the grandma and her babies, the mom, aunt, and uncle, were safe. And then she finally came to a realization, like, yeah, we did get this like superpower thing, but my actual gift was you. And just them as people and staying alive. And she had the realization that she wasn't cherishing the right thing. She was holding on to that weird superpower things that they have, rather than just being so happy that her kids got to survive and then make her grandkids and all that. So that's what reminded me when you said that. But you can take that quote in so many different ways, because you are gifted. And it also reminded me of the quick story that was you can't judge all animals the same, because a fish can't climb a tree like a chimpanzee can.
Right.
And so if we
all had different gifts, yeah.
Exactly. And so if we're judging the fish on how good he can climb a tree, we're going to say, you're horrible. You're the most worthless animal ever. But look how good the chimpanzee is. And that's kind of like our STAR test and our general educational programs in Texas. And it's like, no. These kids aren't stupid. These kids aren't problematic. And this is something that I kind of fought with and kind of laughed my way out of through school. Was like, I'm just not that smart. Like, I just don't have it like what the other gifted and talented kids have. I'm not making good grades. I have a hard time paying attention. Well, here's the deal, is you are smart. You're smart. I'm smart. It just depends on what topic we're talking about, because you are gifted at painting and where I'm not, and so you are ahead of me at that. But maybe there's something out there that I may be a little bit better at than you are. Right. And it just, everyone's so independent. But kids, if you can hear anything from me, you're not stupid. And I wish someone would have told me that. And it almost makes me emotional, but I'll beat that into my kids' head if I have to, that they are not under any circumstance stupid. We just have to find what they're passionate about, what they can put their gift into. And man, I really do love that quote that your professor told you. And you make those shirts, I'm gonna get me one too. So, but
on the way.
I love how general that is, and you can seriously take it in so many different ways. Like, I just had 2 stories pop in my head immediately from you saying that. So, great idea, man. Great idea.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I had a question about starting up. But let me just stay kind of on topic. You're talking about getting more shirts in and stuff. You are a painter first and foremost, correct?
Yeah.
And then so that is the majority of your business at the moment, is just painting, doing commissions, doing other things.
Right, which is, I'm also trying to, I already have like my clothing brand.
Okay.
And all that
Okay. That's what I wanted to know, was how are we going to migrate into And what do you see yourself migrating into with clothing brand? And do you just want to like make shirts, or are you going to make some hats or some shorts? Like,
Oh yeah, all that's in mine already. So
cool.
like I had mentioned earlier, X.I.M is everything is as a whole, and it represents artists such as musicians, painters, even athletes.
Yeah.
Same thing as also with like exercising.
Cool.
So I'm going to be making clothes also that you can wear to the gym.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to be making hats as well.
Nice.
Socks and shorts. Shorts, pants, sweatshirts, sweatpants.
Gotcha.
That's on the way.
Okay.
And another idea that I have is hopefully one day even coming out with like a shoe brand.
Okay, man. That's I guess a harder task to accomplish rather than say t-shirts or hoodies or whatever, because you don't see as many people start up a shoe company and then be successful over it. I feel like it's one of those businesses that the top holds on to it, whether it be Nike or Adidas or whatever, and they have a real iron fist around it. But luckily, with the internet and the access that we have now, younger companies can come up now. So that'd be cool to see a shoe.
Yeah, I mean, everything's only growing, and anyone who has an idea, whether you think it's going to work or not, I think they should just put that idea out.
Yeah.
Let's say my clothing doesn't work out.
Yeah.
That's okay, but I'm still going to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
Even if I don't have a great amount of fans or people buying my brand, I might have, a few thousand or whatever. It doesn't have to be like the millions that Nike has.
Yeah.
Although, like I said earlier, I want to be bigger than Nike.
For sure.
But they also represent, pretty much everything that I just said, and obviously they're way much bigger company than I am, and way more experience than me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I want to make it like a global thing, and have people see through my brand who I am, because my brand holds my morals and my values.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. And that'd be beautiful. Just like those shirts that we were talking about, like just to spread a little bit of positivity. To go back to DJ Maniac, he shouted out someone named like Eddie Cupcakes or something like that, cupcake shirts or something.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Mr.
about.
Cupcake, something like that. I'm messing it up for sure, but y'all can go back and listen to him say it. But
Johnny Cupcakes?
Johnny Cupcakes, that's who it was. And he said, I love wearing his shirts because he puts out so much positivity into the world. And that's just some random man from Wichita Falls saying that about a guy. I think he was from Chicago or something like that. He's his brand's from up north, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it travels, and Marcus wants to represent that because it represents how he feels, and he sees the same out of the same lens that Johnny Cupcakes does. So it's just, I don't want to say it's that easy, but you can find like-minded people that appreciate your art, your work, your your brand as a total.
Yeah, whoever understands my brand, or I'm explaining it now, will gravitate towards that, and I'm going to put that on my t-shirts. Like I said, I'm going to put quotes that have been said to me. I'm also going to design pictures that I already have.
Cool.
And that's going to represent positivity. That's going to represent kindness. It's going to represent a lot. It's definitely nothing negative, because that's not what any of us are here for.
Too
We're not here
much
to
of it already.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I like to say there's more positivity in the world than there is negativity.
Good.
Stop watching the news, and then you won't focus too much on the negative.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, we weren't born to have to watch the news. It's there. The TV's there, of course. But we don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
We can do what we want to do, what our gift is, and just work on that every single day.
Yeah, for sure, man. And like you said, just don't watch the news. And ever since I moved out of my parents' house, I haven't had any access to like a Dish Network or Direct TV type of thing. So I don't even watch any of the local channels, or if I need to see something that happened in town, I'll go to like KFDX or Texoma's homepage, and I'll seek after the story that I'm looking for, rather than all this random, whether it be negativity or positivity, shoved in your face all the time. But I think it's funny because I'm heavily on Twitter and on Facebook, and it's funny to a sense, but then it's kind of sad at the same time that I'll get on Facebook and it's super Republican, super conservative, and then just very, very right leaning. And then that's because of who I know and who I'm friends with on Facebook. But then on Twitter, I follow more of a really not people from this area, more of just like funny accounts and stuff like that. And or different accounts that I just randomly came across. And I get such a left-wing perspective of those things. And it's so funny to see, like, standing in the middle and being able to look at both of them. I'm like, gosh, we're mad at the wrong things, you know, and we shouldn't even be mad in general whenever you step back and be like, dude, we're just people. Like, everyone's just people. And then there may be a certain group that it's at the very tippy top, whether they're poking the bear, you know, bear being us. But I'm just like, my perspective on life now is getting to the point of, who cares? You know, if it's not you punching me in the face right now, it's not, you know, affecting me negatively. And even if someone ignores me or says something mean to me, like, I'm tired of letting it get to me. So
yeah, it's a matter of making sure you manage your emotions and making sure that you don't react in a way where it's not going to do anybody any good.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So it's always best to just, during negative times, is kind of just keep calm, manage your emotions. We're humans, so we should still be able to express our emotions. If you want to cry, if you want to be mad, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Because we all should do that.
Yeah.
It's what we have to do, what we should do. That's how we were born.
Exactly.
But we can all manage it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's important. And just like I said, just not reacting in a way where it's not going to benefit you or the other person.
Right.
Even if the other person says something wrong to you, it's not going to make things any better. Because if nothing happens, then nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't go better, but it for sure doesn't go more negative. You don't feed into the negativity.
Yeah, I teach my kids those things, and I tell them, you know, if anybody's ever mean to you guys or for whatever reason, you need to understand that maybe that kid is mean to you because maybe something's going on in their household.
Maybe someone's being mean to them.
You know, maybe their parents are going through something, whether it be alcohol, drugs, whether it be their parents' past. They're taking what happened in their past onto their children, so they're not even breaking that cycle. So I've decided to break that cycle in many aspects of my life and teach my kids things that I've learned at an old age, just off reading or just off observing and analyzing people or whatever, because I've always been that type, like the shy type or quiet type. It may not seem like that anymore, but I was like that, and I just decided to change for the better for myself and for my kids.
Good, man, good. And you hit so many good topics right there, and one being that you don't know what someone else is going through. And then we kind of touched on that a second ago, and about someone being mad about something while you're really fighting some demons internally.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you brought it up today, and I'm glad us as a society and a new culture are bringing it up, that people aren't just mean for the hell of being mean anymore. Like, we're starting to understand that, you know, if someone is out there abusing somebody else in any form or fashion, we don't have to get into what they're doing. There's a solid chance that someone did something similar to them. You know, whether it was beating them up or something else. There's a good chance it happened to them, and that's the sad thing about it. When people are like, "Just give them the electric chair, just take their ass out or lock them up in prison," it's like, can we step back and think, like, shit, what happened to this man or woman to put them in this position? Because
we need to empathize.
we need to have some empathy, and then, you know, not everyone's. There is very few and far between people that are just plain evil. Something probably bad happened to them. So I'm glad you brought that up. But then another thing you mentioned was your emotions and feeling that. And I heard a beautiful quote the other day. I'm pretty sure I screenshotted it. But it was, you are able to manage your emotions better the more you allow yourself to feel them. And I was like, whoa, dude, that really resonated with me, because if we're just bottling this shit up, then it is going to explode like a volcano. But if you allow yourself to cry at the right moment and then be like, okay, I am crying, and then now let me work through this. And something that I've been saying lately is just like, sweep it out the door. Feel it, and and then get over it however you see fit, and then sweep it out the door.
Yeah. Or if it's and just to cut you off real quick, or if it's something in regards to somebody did to you, yeah, go ahead and cry or be mad or whatever. Don't react on it.
Right.
And then maybe ask yourself, okay, why am I mad or
Right.
why am I crying? Did somebody do this to me? And if so, it's okay to go up to that person
Yeah.
and just say, hey, can we sit down and talk?
Yeah.
You know, such and such or whatever, this happened. And maybe you guys can come into some type of agreement or whatever it may be. This is anybody, of course, just in general. But, you know, talk to each other and let's come into some type of agreement.
For sure.
Right?
For sure, yeah. And then just the more that you can do certain instances like that, you're working on your tools, basically. Your tools be in your hands or your brain or your eyes, ears, whatever. And so you just get more accustomed to your tools. But I'm glad that you're fully aware of that. I'm glad that you're teaching that to your kids. Like I'm along the same lines, a similar road that you're traveling, and so I admire you for that too. But I had a question about the clothes, and I hope you can help somebody out because I'll probably never go into clothes manufacturing. I may get some, just like this, some brand shirts, whatever. But how do you go about finding and it wouldn't be not a co-packer, but your wholesaler and your shirt manufacturer or your hoodie, whatever the product is? How'd you go about finding that? And then are you still in that process of just kind of give me the rundown of starting a clothing line?
So I initially, when I first had this idea, I just looked up like wholesale apparel companies. And the first one that I saw was TSE, but they changed it to something else now.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're named differently now,
Okay.
but I forgot what it was. But that's where I get it, and then I look at the brands that they have,
Okay.
and I try to see whether it's cotton, polyester, or half and half, or whatever. And these shirts are actually very comfortable, and they last very long as well. And I've washed this maybe a couple times.
Okay.
And it still looks brand new.
Yeah.
You know
Looks
what I mean?
nice.
So that's how I went about that. And obviously you want to look at the pricing.
Right.
And then what are you going to charge for it?
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm one of those guys where I don't like to charge way too much because it doesn't make sense. If I'm trying to put my brand out and have people notice it, I don't do any of this for the money at the end of the day. I do it for myself. I do it for my brand, for my kids, for my family, and to just spread out positivity and kindness and my message.
Yeah.
So,
but you still got light bill to pay and mouths to feed.
I was just gonna say I still have my bills and stuff like that. So I go based off that as well. Like, okay, I'll charge this much. This how much I'll get, and then how much can I donate to like whoever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Such as the art community.
Yeah.
I like to do that as well.
Cool, man. Good to know. And are you looking to go like brick and mortar, or would you stay online only? What's your outlook on that?
Yeah, I definitely want like an actual building with my logo on it. I was even thinking about having my clothing line and kind of how the Maplewood is. It's a bar and then a gallery.
Okay,
so I wanted to have clothes and a gallery.
Okay. Yeah.
With all my art.
That'd be awesome.
All in one place.
Love that.
I think that'd be awesome. Trust me, man. I've this X.I.M building idea. I've had it for so many years, and I hope that someday it can come into fruition.
Yeah, for sure. I think it would be cool, and this is just me spitballing, but on 9th Street and Lamar here in downtown Wichita Falls, they have given X.I.M the go-ahead several weeks ago to do it's a self-portrait, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then so there's some old broken down shop buildings over there, and he did a self-portrait working with 9th Street and the Alliance and other people, yada yada. But that'd be a cool place to put a cool clothing store. Not a Dillard's, not a Sears, whatever, a personalized place with a gallery in it that you would fit just perfect. There would be a lot of work to do, but it'd be cool to be right across the street from an art gallery. There's they're not so much an art gallery. They're like a secondhand store or something. But anyways, that'd be a good neck of the woods to be in. And
yeah, I've thought of that, and I've actually been reading this book on how to do a business plan.
Okay.
And you want to make
Shout
sure.
it out. Put a plug in. Do you know the title of it?
Man, no, it's. I don't even know where I got this book.
Okay.
It just says business plan on it.
Okay,
or how
cool.
to create a business plan or something like that.
Okay. Maybe send me a message later on Instagram, and I
okay.
can plug it in the show for sure.
Okay.
It sounds like a good read.
Yeah. So it is, and I'm learning a lot of new things about it. And it mentions, one of the things it mentions is, if you're really gonna have, like, if you actually want a building, and this is just with any business, you want to look at the community, you want to look at what people are buying, or whether it's even feasible to do it in a specific area. You can even have it in a mall.
Okay.
Right. So, and then you want to look at, like, the rent cost, and you want to look at what people are buying. Like, out here, I don't know if people are into fashion. I haven't really caught that on yet. You know what I mean? So I'm not really sure.
They're not. Someone here locally needs to force that upon Wichita Falls people. Because anyone that there's plenty of people here that dress nice, or like what you'd consider exotic, probably a normal thing in LA or Tokyo or whatever, big places. But people here, and I'm completely guilty of it too, Carhartt and denim, and khakis, boring stuff. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. So, yeah, I've thought of even doing something out here as well, but I'm still looking into that to see if it's something that's not going to go down. At the end of the day, even just having it as a first business, almost most first businesses or small businesses,
for sure,
don't ever really succeed. But I'm not going to think that way. I'm going to think that, yes, it is going to succeed, and I want to make sure I dot all my I's and cross all my T's and make sure I got everything right.
Cool, man. Cool.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome to see, and I like that. So many avenues are opening up for, and this being one of them, to showcase local artists. And then if you had a gallery in a building that people knew about, because I have a feeling that not too many people know where to access this stuff if it's not the after hours art walk or whatever. And then but ideas like that, and then Tags Maniac Mansion, and then the Deep End. I don't think I finished my thought on the Deep End earlier, that arcade bar. What I think,
that's right. We were talking about that.
Shout out to Eric. We got off on his hip hop career, but the Deep End has a whole, like, wall now, and kind of the jewelry cases that you see in like what you'd see at Zales. They're glass containers, and then they have all this openings for anyone that wants to put art in there. They're like, cool. if your fridge is getting too full, or your storage is too full, come put your art in here. And I was like, good idea, guys. Good idea. Gave them a little thumbs up on Facebook. But yeah, finally these avenues are opening up and becoming well known, because all this was basically hidden to me until my wife got a studio at 9th Street. And then we got involved with the art community, and it needs to be a little bit brought out of the shadow, so to say, or brought out of downtown and into the light, because some people just flat out don't know, or like they don't have time to know. And how are you going to worry about art if your grass is too tall and the kids are crying and all the so if you can make it just more accessible, that's amazing. But I knew I wanted to ask you that about how to start, a clothing line and how you're approaching it. But then I wanted you to tell us how you got started, like collecting all the things you needed to get serious about painting again, because like that is your small business, is you painting. And then so like, what kind of went through your brain? Did you just save up a bunch of money and then buy everything that you needed, or did you kind of collect things over time? How'd you go about that?
Yeah, it's just like creating a painting. It was all just a work in progress.
Cool.
It's all a work in progress. So I first started with acrylic painting. I bought a few cheap brushes probably. Okay. And I went from there, and then I noticed that I was getting better, so I was thinking, okay, let me start painting on bigger canvases as well. So I didn't necessarily save up, and if I did sell anything, then I'll just use that money and keep buying, because you want to put it back into the business. You don't want to spend it on anything you don't need.
Exactly.
So that's just kind of how I've been doing it.
Yeah, and I like that. So many people have came on here and talked about just starting from essentially nothing, and working an original job, and then just slowly building, and then it's cool. I like the idea of a no debt business, and then that's what I'm in right now. Just besides rent, which I'll never be able to get out from under that. But if I was to be able to find my own building, like you were talking about, you could eventually own that and then go debt free. You know,
just have to have like a really, like I said, which is why I'm reading this business plan book. You want to have a good business plan to present. If you do need money to borrow, you go to the banks and present them with this business plan. Yeah. And you also want to kind of, in a sense, predict the future, how your numbers are going to be, which is how they're going to let you borrow the money, whether it's a private person, private investor or whatever, or the bank, whatever. So, yeah.
I think it's funny that I watch Shark Tank often, and but for sure Shark Tank, and then so many people come onto that show looking for I'd say an unconventional loan, or a not your standard go to the bank and offer a proposal. And it seems like a new age thing, to whether it be GoFundMe or these angel investor websites, or what's the other one? Kickstarter, that's a big one. And there's so many different revenue or avenues that a small company can take advantage of now, rather than the daunting task of having all those perfectly presentable numbers to go approach, Chase Bank, someone that you may not even know those people at Chase, and then they're going to look at you like, Adam off the street and be like, no, I'm not going to loan you this money because you can't get my money back to me or whatever. But yeah, there's so many different opportunities now that maybe our parents' generation didn't have, because the internet wasn't what it is now, and whether it be a TV show like Shark Tank, then there's just so many different ways that you can go about, and that's what I like knowing. Like I did do a very conventional way of doing business when I did the heavy equipment thing. I found what I needed for our area, what size of equipment I needed, and just did like the market on it. And then, what's the average price of those? Got it one a little bit higher on the average price, but it was a little bit nicer than the average rundown piece of equipment, And then went to my bank. Hey, this is what I'm looking like. Okay, man, let's do it. And then, but luckily, I chose to, this is just like my business experience stories. I choose to stay with the bank that I know the people there. Like I went to high school with a couple girls that worked behind the counter, and then my dad grew up and went to all through the classes with some people that work in the back, So I chose to go to this smaller bank rather than like perfect example. Shout out First Bank. I got our home loan through First Bank here in Wichita Falls, and then went through that whole process with them. I was like, cool, I like this. I don't know this lady, but she works with a bunch of people I do know, and she's from Wichita Falls, easy to contact, yada yada. And then go through, get the mortgage done, buy the house, boom, cool. And then that's where all my other financial stuff is on the First Bank app. Well, sure enough, like a month into owning this house, First Bank mails me pay snail mail and was like, hey, we're selling your mortgage to Chase Bank. And so now if I have to do anything with their freaking mortgage or like insurance and mortgage, whatever, like I have to go to that big old bank on Kemp Street, the Chase Bank, and like, I don't know anybody there. It's very awkward. I feel uncomfortable. And so that's why I've chosen to stay with a bank that I can walk in and be like, hey, Randy, hey, Brittany, whoever's working. And there's more of a personal feel to it. And then then they can know me, and then they can learn about me and know what I'm into or what I'm going to do. And then they can entrust me a little bit more with their money, and then know that I'm going to get that money back to them and then pay those loans off. And anyway, so they don't have everything that, say, Chase Bank does or as much money that they do. But I've gone that route to have a better connection with, my bank. And then that's just my take on how I ran my businesses and who I've decided to work with. But shout out First Bank. So, but yeah, it's kind of just that balance that we've been talking about and giving and taking a little bit. But Yeah, there's just so many different options to do now. So, but I know that you didn't have to take out a loan or anything to get into painting. But I mean, did it just started with a couple brushes and your skill set went up and went from
just
there?
brushes, acrylic.
Yeah.
I even learned how to use acrylic because there's another technique. I'm sure there's probably more than just one, but there's different techniques to use acrylic. There's like scumbling.
Okay.
There's glazing techniques.
Okay.
So that was one of the main ones I was using. I enjoyed that. And I just felt like it dried too quickly, so I went on to oil paints because you're able to maneuver the paint and kind of just manipulate it in any direction in a sense. And you just have more freedom with it. It doesn't dry as quick, but you could make it dry quick, but you have to put a certain solvent or medium or whatever in it to make it dry. So there's many ways to do it. There's many techniques to do it as well, and that's just how I've learned throughout just YouTube.
There you go.
Like I said, I've learned from this Robert Peterson guy, and as far as just looking at his paintings inspire me. So I look, all right, so how did he do this? All right, so I can do that too.
There you go.
Without actually seeing the way he did it, I can just look at the painting and I already know how he did it.
Yeah.
So that's how I've learned, man, and that's how all this has grown pretty much.
Yeah, that's awesome, and we're so lucky that we have access to YouTube. And there's this new business model of put everything you have out there for free, and hopefully you can get sponsors or YouTube ads or whatever. And luckily, we just have the infinite encyclopedia of how to do fill in the blank, because it's out there, And then I always think it's funny if I can't find a very specific thing of how to do on YouTube. I'm like, well, there's a good business opportunity right there. I just need to start making videos on that, figure out how to do it by myself the hard way, and then start making videos. And I haven't done it, but it's just always an avenue to go. But yeah, we're so lucky that we basically have business school in our hands just off of YouTube, And I was talking with DJ Maniac, and I said, how'd you get started with this? He started as a DJ, and I said, because that was pre-YouTube, and he talked about having to buy how-to DVDs, how to scratch, how to be a DJ, and you'd have to buy random books or DVDs, and it's just such a different world, and we're so lucky that we're like the most informed. And this is another common saying, we're the most informed generation, and at the same time, the most misinformed generation. There's so much information out there that we're basically getting flooded with it. And someone said, it was someone's like TikTok or Facebook reel or something that was like, what even is truth anymore? Because you can form an opinion like your hat is blue. And then you can Google hard enough to be like, yeah, here's my proof. This is what blue is. The hat matches my examples and descriptions that I wrote out. Blah, 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 blah. The hat's blue. And then at the exact same time, you can do your research to prove that the hat's not blue. It's a shade of violet or whatever, And he was like, what's even the truth anymore? Because however you feel, you can find information out there to back it up, whether it be conspiracy theories or, politics or cultural things, and what happened in this crime scene investigation, blah, blah, blah. And so it's kind of funny to be able to navigate through that and form your opinions or how you feel about certain topics. But I
think there's some truths.
It's a new problem,
Yeah, there's some things, or there's some truths or whatever that you probably don't want to or you don't want to necessarily concentrate on, whatever it may be. Just focus on your truth and focus the truth around you. Like having to worry about the color of a hat, really it is just like, I don't know, who cares?
But they would make Facebook groups about it, arguing. The whole discussion about the dress. Remember the blue and black, gold. White and gold, whatever it was, and
that was kind of crazy.
It was, and then I think there was a tennis shoe, like a Converse, that was pink and white or green and pink. I don't know. Anyways, but people will go into full out arguments about stupid shit like this, but I mean,
I think I only I was probably paying attention to it for like a couple hours. Like, oh shit, this is interesting.
Yeah.
How is this looking gold and then blue or whatever
Yeah.
the heck it was?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, forget it. I'm done.
What is funny, if you can step back and it's really how your eyes and your brain portray that
Yeah.
to you. But if you can step back far enough and then like make yourself see it and be like, oh, I can make it look like white and gold in my head, or I can make it look like blue and black. So
Yeah.
it's funny that you can actually do that rather than just first take, yeah, it's blue and black, whatever. So
2 + 2 is 5.
yeah, there you go. And then there's someone out there on YouTube that's going to tell you how that it is 5, you know. So anyways, man, I like learning just about our guest, and it doesn't have to be strictly business, and it doesn't have to be strictly political or anything. And it's fun to know like what makes you tick and what your interests are, and just different topics. Like I just wanted to talk to people, and that's why I made this. But I wanted to start something new. A new reoccurring question is, and we'll do a experiment with you, and you're the perfect guest for it because you're new to town in the past couple years. What is your favorite restaurant in Wichita Falls that you found? And let's shout them out. Let's give them some props.
Man, this is like a chain restaurant too. So,
Okay.
And we love supporting small businesses
Okay.
and you know the smaller restaurants,
Yeah.
hole in the wall. But I would say it's Texas Roadhouse. Is that what
Okay.
it's called?
Yeah. The
Texas.
one on Lawrence Street. Okay.
Yeah, Texas Roadhouse, and then after that, I would say Stone Oven Pizza.
Yeah, shout out Tanner and the crew over there at Stone Oven. And I mean, Texas Roadhouse is a chain, but there's someone locally that has, you know, the equity in it as well. But and then it's all Wichita Falls people that are working there. But yeah, man, Stone Oven. God,
That's the best pizza in town. As a matter of fact, it's one of the best pizzas, or the best pizza I've ever had.
I agree, dude.
Ever had.
100%. And
Wings too are amazing.
Okay, I haven't tried the wings. I'll have to
We
get
had
them.
them last weekend.
Do you get? Is it like a like the spicy buffalo kind of thing, or?
I think we just got like, I think it was
Okay,
spicy
cool,
buffalo.
cool.
Yeah.
Just the stereotypical wing, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, I can agree with you. Stone Oven is probably in mine. I'd say, God, it's so hard to say top 5 or top 3, but I can proudly say top 5 favorite restaurants here in town, and but for sure, 110% the best pizza. Sorry, Bully's Pizza, if y'all ever hear this, but Stone Oven's got them beat. They Stone Oven, you know, is more of a thicker crust or like medium sized crust, and this place called Bully's, a little bit just a hair outside of town. They make super thin, like razor thin pizza.
I love thin pizza.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Tanner, don't hate me for saying
might have
this.
to try it.
Yeah, they may be going out of business. I don't know the deal with that. It's a bar and a pizza place, super good.
What is it called again?
Bully's Pizza, and so you know Kell Freeway 82.
Yeah.
If you hop on Kell and head west and just keep heading west, you'll pass the Owl Park exit, and then it's majority of Kell is like nice, a little bit higher elevated than the access roads. Well, it gets back to normal elevation when you keep heading west, and then right after the last overpass, it's 369 exit, maybe not even 5 miles past that is Bully's Pizza on the right, and it's originally a biker bar. And it's became more and more just a normal restaurant, but super 90s theme. Like when you think of 90s and Harley Davidson and punk rock, bikers and leather, this place is what your imagination makes. And flames on the wall, and it's a bunch of cool art.
I gotta check it out for sure.
Yeah, if they still are open, do it for sure. But man, Stone Oven, God, so good. And then and they represent local artists and have a bunch of cool stuff and comedians as well every now and then.
Yeah, they got that like stage there, huh? Yeah, I thought I seen. I'm sure some of those paintings are in there are Selena's because they look similar to the ones.
Okay, surely she's done one or two of them for them. I don't know, but we can sure figure out. And then so that I can agree with you on those restaurants. What about your favorite general like store? It doesn't have to be just clothing.
Okay, I know what you mean.
Just anything besides a
store?
restaurant, you know.
Grocery store like Sam's Club.
What about?
Or you mean like a TJ Maxx type of deal?
Yeah, any. What's your favorite? Let me put it this way: what's your favorite business that's not food related?
Business that's not food related. Man, you may have stumped me there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, you haven't been to Tag's Maniac Mansion yet, have you?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to visit and because we were promoting the show.
Yeah, cool.
And that's when I met Marcus.
Okay.
You said his name is?
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet, so I can't say anything about that. But I'm sure it's a great place.
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah, you'll love it.
Bunch
for sure.
of people there.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm trying to think like what a good example would be.
how about like Wichita Brewery?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they're a restaurant too, but anyways, be thinking about that one. But there's some cool shops here. I like one I can shout out is it's called Ramble and Company, and it's on I'm pretty positive Indiana. So just not Scott, but I think the one right after Scott on Indiana, and they majority sell T-shirts, but they got a lot of stuff. They got some art in there, but it's really, really Wichita Falls based. And then like you'll see people wearing different like DFW shirts or like Los Angeles, like LA right there. I know that's a baseball hat, but you'll see like trendy things. Well, they make it Wichita Falls version, or they'll have. Custom stuff from local people. And then I don't know if you've seen on my coffee table out there, but there's a little painting that's kind of caricature-ish with the buildings on it and stuff. Yeah. I bought it from Ramble and Company.
Oh, okay.
And so they just have a lot of Wichita Falls.
I thought it was a blueprint of like the building or something.
Yeah. Which is cool. The property manager has blueprints of this building. It's super, super cool. But anyways, they just have a bunch of cool Wichita Falls things. And it's a girl, or at least originally was a girl from the Charlie area. Anyways, just cool family. And she's a cool chick with a cool business. And she's very, very... just supportive of Wichita Falls doings. And then her family is one of the biggest people at Wichita Farmers Market. They just produce a lot of veggies, a lot of fruits, and then they do a bunch of cool stuff out in Charlie with their family farm and stuff, and a bunch of interactive things. But that's a cool business for sure. And so anyways, I'll stick with the restaurant one, the local business. And it's kind of a weird question for sure. It's like, where do you go all the time that's not a restaurant?
It's a good question. No questions ever weird. But I wouldn't even know. I don't really like to shop anywhere or go anywhere.
Yeah.
My girlfriend likes doing that.
Yeah.
My kids enjoy doing that.
For sure.
Honestly, I hate shopping.
Yeah. Man, I'm quick to just go to Amazon. Or if it's something that I'm okay with it being used, whether it be tools or whatever, I'll go to Facebook Marketplace and just buy it straight from the person. That I'm always down to do that. My wife's like, no, all we do is just buy broken shit. And I'm like, well, sometimes you got to buy broken shit and just fix it, But anyways, man, tell me what you would, if you could remove yourself from the situation and go back in time and talk to a young X.I.M. What would you tell yourself regarding the arts, the business, your dreams, your goals? What would you tell him if you could travel back in time and talk? It doesn't even have to be a young you, maybe just someone similar in your shoes, a young artist or someone that wants to go into the clothing industry. What some words of encouragement or just some advice that you would give them?
Yeah, what I would say is either to my younger self or anybody out there who's young. I'm gonna be 36 soon, but if you're just starting out and you're like 8 years old or whatever, young, and if you have a passion for something, do that. Just keep doing that every single day, no matter what anybody tells you, whether it's your parents, your sisters, your cousins, your brothers, uncles, aunts, grandma, grandpa, whoever, anybody, strangers. If you believe in your heart that you enjoy doing that and you want to do that and it's benefiting you and others, keep doing that every single day. Don't ever stop. Don't ever give up. Don't get discouraged. Even if you're not making a buck out of it, let's say 5 years have passed by and you still haven't made a buck. It's not about the money. Or you're still alive, obviously, after 5 years. You haven't made a buck, right?
That's
so
true.
You keep doing that, and there's ways to make things happen. I mean, you can still have a 9 to 5 and do whatever you enjoy doing after that. You know, there's definitely ways to manage everything, and that's my personal opinion. I'm just gonna say that because at the end of the day, we all have the same amount of time. 24 hours in a day.
24 hours.
So whenever anybody says, "Oh, I can't do it," there's not enough time. Time's not waiting for us at all. You know, our time here is limited. You know what I mean? So time is going to keep going on after we pass. You know what I mean? So do that every single day. If you love it, do it. Just do it, do it, do it. And if that doesn't work out, find something else to do and do that. You know what I mean? We all have, you know, like we discussed, we all have a gift.
That's right.
We can have a gift in singing, rapping, painting, the best plumber, the best
welder,
teacher,
anything.
It does not matter. Whatever you enjoy doing, do it every single day, and don't let anybody tell you any different.
Heck yeah, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I want to know if there's any cool highlights, any wins or loses that we didn't talk about or we didn't bring up that you want to get off your chest or encourage other people to do.
Yeah, I mean, it may sound like my life is perfect, but it's not because nobody's life is perfect. But I'm always optimistic about everything, and I always know that there's a way to figure things out. Because us as humans, we strive to figure things out.
Yeah, for sure. That's all we do.
And it's important to not be idle and not do anything and stop blaming things on things or people. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what you have control of, you have control of. And if you don't have control of specific things, such as, you know, how people speak to you or whatever else happens externally, there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? Just ignore it or whatever. Don't pay attention to it or just move away from it. You know, if you're in a specific environment, you know, you don't have to be in that environment. Or if you're broke, make something happen.
Man.
You know what I mean? So I feel like I got off track. What did you say again?
Just is there anything that we didn't hit or talk about?
But yeah, going back to my life isn't perfect. As far as like any losses or failures, man, I don't know. Like I still feel like I'm still in the beginning. Even though I've been painting for 6 years, I'm still in the beginning. And yeah, sometimes I may be like, oh, how come nobody wants to buy this or whatever? But I'm not going to have that mentality because I should just keep putting out content and keep producing and keep making things, because honestly, this is what has made me the happiest. You know, ever since 2016. That's made me the happiest, and I'm just going to continue to keep on doing that for the rest of my life.
Heck yeah, man.
No, like literally, no matter what. You know, I'm going to the art battle next month. I think that's awesome. And I can sign up for these things. And if I didn't get picked, then I didn't get picked. You know what I mean? That's okay. At least I tried.
That's right. That's right. And that's what I was kind of the point I was getting with my wife the other day was, you know, I went to something a little bit out of my comfort zone, being the Beto rally or town hall that I saw you at. And then
you did great, by the way.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
man. Thank you,
I hope he comes.
And I do too, because we need to have an open conversation. And I'm just like you. I want to spread positivity, and I want to give the microphone to both sides of the story, or both sides of the floor, and hear both stories. You know, whether it be a Democratic candidate or a Republican candidate. I don't hate either one, and I want to give the information out there to the people that are curious like me. And then we don't have to argue about anything. I just want to know what you have to say, or they say, you know, whatever. But yeah, getting back to that, I was told my wife that I was so nervous, but I knew what I wanted, and I wanted to invite Beto O'Rourke on this show, and I told my wife I did what I could do, and that's all I could do. I just gave it my best, and I stood up, and I told him, dude, I was so nervous, and which is so weird because
you did not seem nervous
until
you said, I'm nervous. Oh my God.
Dude, I felt my voice shaking, and I was like, oh my God. And then I'm going to be dead honest with you. I don't fully remember everything that I said because I was just kind of word vomiting. But it was just so different because hundreds of people are going to watch this, and I'm not nervous, not one bit sitting with you. But the fact that physically about 100 people were there, and I was standing up, and I think what really got me, and maybe not so much the 100 people that were there, it was the fact that he's kind of half-ass famous, and for some reason...
I was just going to mention something about that.
Yeah, for some reason that kind of just threw me off a little bit, and it's not that he's my idol, or like, if I was to meet like Lil Wayne or Waka Flocka or, someone like that, I would, hands would be shaking, and I'd be sweaty or whatever. It was not like that, but it was just like, I'm speaking to someone that was, half-ass famous, and it was pretty similar. I met Ted Cruz when he came to Wichita Falls, our senator here in Texas, and I had a hard time kind of talking to him as well, but anyways, man, what I was getting at was I knew what I wanted to ask him, and I took the courage. It took courage to stand up in front of that group and ask him, thank you, man. And but yeah, that's all I could do was my best.
And that's exactly what you did. So going back to the whole famous thing, at the end of the day, everybody's famous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're all human. We're all human.
Yeah.
Right? We all see the same sun.
Yep.
We all live on the same planet.
That same moon
same
and everything.
Universe, all that. So, just the whole being nervous thing. Yeah, it's us as humans. That's what happens. You know what I mean? I just, every time I speak to anybody, it doesn't even matter who it is anymore. It's just, speaking to you, we're on the same planet and we're just talking to each other. So the way I see it is just everybody's famous.
Yeah, man. There you go. There you go. And then it's a better version of, remember that old saying, like, if you get nervous, just imagine everyone in their underwear. Like, that's pretty weird. So, like, it's a way better example of you saying everybody's famous, and whether it be their local scene or their friend group or a national scale, everyone is famous, and everyone has a gift. Yep. I love that fucking quote, man. I love it so much. But
it's true.
Man, I want to give you the floor now. I've seriously admired our whole conversation. I love getting to know you more, and I want you to plug every way someone can get a hold of you, all your socials, if you have a website, anything that you want to get out to the world. Now's your time to share it with them, and then let them know how to get to you.
Okay, yeah, I can be reached at, as far as, my paintings, my clothing, I can be reached at www.mrximart. mrximart.com.
Okay,
and then
cool.
My Instagram is mrxim_art.
Okay.
And I do have a TikTok that I actually just created.
Cool.
And I believe if you just look at Mr. XIM, you'll find it.
Okay.
So you can find it there. And what else do I have? If you want to email me, it's ximclothing@gmail.com.
Okay.
You can email me there as well. And that's all the platforms I currently have right now.
Okay, cool. And just to let everyone know, we talked about it earlier. He brought me some paintings. They're going to be on my website. Make sure to go check that out. And I'm going to do my best to plug everything that he just said in the video description, and you'll be able to just click a link, go support him, give him a like, give him a follow, buy some art from him, and then come to my website and buy some more art from me, from him. So it just works out. We're going to support local, and like I say all the time, like, share, subscribe. If you really like this, tell your friends. And then something I haven't been mentioning, but I need to get it out there is this show isn't for free, and I've been footing this bill the whole time, and I am looking for ads still and sponsors, but I run a Patreon, and you can find me at Texas Barons Patreon, and go give it a follow, subscribe, just throw a couple bucks in there, and I would seriously appreciate that. I don't think that I've got that out there enough. But if you want to keep listening to this show, help a brother out, and tell your friends. Go look me up on Patreon. And thanks for listening, everybody. X.I.M.
For sure, man. Thank you. Hey, definitely look that up. I am. I'm gonna definitely look it up for sure.
Cool.
And yeah, it'll help everybody out a lot.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.